Welcome, everybody, once again to another episode of Let's Set the Tone. It is a nice, rainy, and stormy Saturday here in the middle part of Michigan, the Mitten. But boy, do I got a great guest once again here today. I can't wait to bring on here shortly, just like last time as well, too. But before that, of course, it's been a long, busy couple of weeks. Work's been pretty crazy. It's been a lot of streaming going on, a lot of content, a lot of things going on, a lot of stuff behind the scenes right now going on. So it feels like there's a lot of juggling, a lot of things I'm trying to keep on all my plates here. But we're making it through it. We're having a lot of fun at the very least, and I think that's the most important part. And it's also Saturday, which means Savage Crucible Saturday, which means there's some awesome photography out there by an amazing collab group. So if you're on Instagram, make sure to get out there, like some of those photos, comment, repost, share, however, for sure. Give some love to that crew. It's a great crew. So, but other than that, I mean, like I said, there's just a lot going on around here. Got some new stuff coming. I'll talk about probably towards the end of the show, of course. But I don't want to keep babbling here like I normally do. Without further ado, I should probably bring on this awesome guest, Lucidebass3. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. Good to have you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Tone. Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah,
Saturday
yeah.
morning, Saturday. So you got some rain, huh?
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
rain? Yeah.
We need it badly. My grass is dying for a drink, so I've actually not really mowed this week because I haven't had to. There's only some spots, but the rest of it's brown, so we're ready for it.
Yeah.
We're ready for it.
It's been a
Yes, sir.
swamp here this week. We've had not much rain this week. We've had a rainy summer, but this week was not much rain, but
Yeah.
like 100 degrees and just muggy, just
Yeah, your area always gets
heavy.
that humidity, doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
It's
big time.
awful. It's
Big
awful. Yeah, that's not my thing. I can't. I wouldn't be able to handle that. So honestly, kudos to you for that, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but right out the gate, I always like to ask everybody, so Lucidebass3. So that's a very interesting handle, obviously, and I know a lot of people call you Lou. I see Lucifer here as well too. So, two things. One, what's the name behind Lucidebass3, and then two, do you have any other fun AKAs maybe that you can share?
Ah, okay. So my name's Lou, so that's why people call me Lou. Um,
Right.
yeah, Lucifer. I brought it. I ended up bringing it back. I've got a couple friends in high school who used to gave me that moniker way back in the day.
Okay.
We're all a bunch of metalhead kids, and so
Yeah.
Lucifer was given to me by one of my best friends, and
If you're a metalhead, that's
yeah,
perfect.
absolutely. And so that's where that came from, and so starting to do this, I said, you know what, let's bring it back because he reached out to me about a year or two ago, and first words out of his mouth, Lucifer, how you been? I'm like, all right, I'm bringing it back. So that's where that's from.
Okay. Okay.
Lucidebass3 was my handle in my band way back in the day, and it's just something that always stuck with me. So I just kind of held on to it, and so when I started this Instagram thing, it was already there, so I just kept using it. So
There you
it
go.
was Lucidian was the name of my band, and I was
Oh,
the
shit.
bassist. So Lucidebass3. 3 is my lucky number. I am the third, and yeah, 3 has a recurring theme in my life. It's pretty
Wow,
interesting. So
that is my favorite number. So there you go.
no,
And it is the magic number too, if you know what I'm referencing on that too.
yeah,
3 is the magic number. Yes, it is.
hmm
Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, you had a late night last night. I think we both kind of did, but you definitely had a late night. But I don't know if you had as much of a late night as everybody else, though, as well, too, because the members only stream went pretty deep last night, huh?
Oh yeah. They I guess most of the crew stayed there after the show for another couple hours. So I think, from what I understand, that it was finished off about 3 o'clock this morning, Eastern.
Wow. Yeah.
I was done about 1:30 ish, I think.
Gotcha.
Something like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, but oh yeah, it's been a crazy streaming week.
Yeah.
It's like every now and then this happens, and I
Mhm.
joke with Talib that I'm in competition with him, but yeah, we did Tuesday. Wednesday had a last minute with Suda Huba and the Crazy Canucks and Plastic Boy Wonder and Pie, Impossible Pie. They asked me to join them last minute. I said, sure, why not? Not even thinking about everything I had to plan for Thursday still.
Right.
Thursday show with Savage Crucible
Amazing
last
stream.
night. Yeah, it was so much fun, man. That was kind of a fly by the seat of our pants, last minute change in plans, pivot, and I was very happy with that change in plans, pivot.
It was awesome.
Very good. Yeah,
That's a good one to pivot to. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. That was like my week last week when I was on. Or was it the week before? I'm already losing track of my weeks. When I was on taking the shot, I think there was one day that week where I didn't stream or have content to do, and I'm just like, boy, oh boy. Some weeks can be like that, right? And it's but it's fun, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know?
We're doing this out of fun. We're not doing this
Right.
because we have to, right? It's
Right.
we enjoy this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the rumor, anyways.
Yeah.
Well,
We're addicted. We're
right,
addicted.
I know. Well, it's like, because Britt, she's, and everybody in my life too, knows that I love being like a clown and the center of attention. So it's like, it's also like at the same time, like as I'm going like, oh man, I got a long week, I gotta do this content. Everybody's like, yeah, you fucking enjoy it too much. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I really do.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fun. It's a good time. So.
Yep.
Well, I'll get over to the chat here for a minute. Say hello to everybody. I do see some folks out there. Billy, welcome. Appreciate you popping in here.
What's up, Billy?
Good to see you, my friend. And of course, the one and only Figure Fight Club themselves is here. Awesome. Awesome to see you. We appreciate it. We probably know who that is overall.
Oh yeah, there's Abby.
That was one of my good pals there, right there. Oh, we might need to restart. Okay, give me a second.
All right.
We'll
Well, only
flip-
10 minutes in. That'll be easier. Go ahead.
Right, we'll flip it over shortly. We for sure will. Just kidding. Talib, good to see you. Appreciate you popping in. You got to create quite a support team there, so that's great. So
That's nice to see.
It is. We appreciate you guys here. So, well, I guess it's probably time that we dive in a little bit here and pulling up my notes as well too. So, I like to, like I said, for me, it's always the journey. I like talking about journeys and where, folks come from to where they are now and kind of walk through that. So, I guess what was Little Lou like? What kind of kid were you growing up? How would you describe yourself?
Little Lou growing up. Well, it's funny. As far as from a toy standpoint, Star Wars was the beginning of it all. I was a '70s kid and a '70s '80s kid. Yeah, I'm an old man. So
Same.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Star Wars was kind of the thing that started it all, right? A little kid at that point, but the kind of kid that I grew up. My father was military, and so we always obviously the shift to GI Joe in '82 was very easy. But growing up, it's one of those where we were the adventure kids. We were outside with the military gear, playing in the woods, all that kind of stuff. And all the kids loved the fact that my dad had all the real military surplus. So we're running around with real military gear.
Right.
The web gear and everything else. And that was fun. The face paint was actual real Army issue face paint.
Oh, sweet. Right. Hell yeah.
Yep. But, and Mom hated that because then she'd have to wash it off our damn faces. Right. But, yeah, no, good stuff. So that was kind of it. We were. I was talking to my buddy, one of my best friends. We've known each other since we were 12 years old, and we're still friends now. We're both collectors, which is wild because he's back up home. I'm from Connecticut. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
And so he's still living up there with his family, his kids and wife and all that. But we talk all the time, and we both we kind of were collecting for years. Our lives took us in different directions. We didn't talk for a while. No fallout, just, life takes you in different directions. So
Right.
we got, I was going up there to visit, reached out, said, I'd love to see you. We got together over at his house. He's showing me around, and there's all these toys. I'm like, is that yours? He's like, well, yeah. I'm like, I collect too. And that just opened the doors back up.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we talk all the time, but we were talking about sitting there with my son and his son talking about some of our adventures as kids. We were like the frickin' Goonies back in the day. We'd be on our bikes going to find whatever exciting, stupid plan we came up with in the summer. That's what we did daily. We'd get up out of the house and go on whatever adventure, wherever it took us. And it's a different time from back then. The '80s, we just kind of... We eventually got home, we survived it all.
Sure. Did in Connecticut? Did you grow up more rurally, or were you like a townie?
We were. So I grew up in Bristol, All right,
Okay.
and in Bristol, home of ESPN. I grew up right down the street.
Oh
From,
yeah, yeah.
I did.
Oh,
I
that's
went
why
to
I'm
high
like, why does
school.
that name sound familiar? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I went to high school just down the street from ESPN.
Oh
That's our
wow.
biggest claim to fame. But so it was kind of suburban, I guess you could
Sure.
describe it as
Okay.
best. It wasn't country, but it wasn't city. We
Yeah.
weren't far from Hartford area where the city is. So
So still plenty room for adventure in that zone, right?
yeah,
Cool.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, there's so much lore back then, back up there with various different witches and occult and all
Yeah.
this stuff that it happened in the New England.
Man. Yeah.
We would go hunting. We'd go hunting for stuff that we read
Sure.
about, and we found some. If you ever go look up Green Lady Graveyard or Green Lady Cemetery, very interesting lore and story behind it, and we found that. And I'm not gonna lie, in high school we went at night and I found some stuff. So we saw
Okay.
some things.
Okay.
So yeah, we saw some things, man.
I'm notating this right now, so
Yeah, yeah.
that will be something I'll look up into. Okay, okay, awesome. Did you now being military family? Did you move around a lot, or is that not
No, my father was when I was growing up. So I was born in Fort Knox, Kentucky. He was active
Okay.
duty at the time. But I guess I'm trying to remember. I think I was about 8 months old when, for whatever reason, I don't know all the details behind it. Decided no more active duty and moved back home, back to the families and all that kind of stuff because everything's up in New England. Probably I had something to do with it. It's like, well, we've got the kid now, so
Sure,
get families
makes
closer
sense.
together, right? So from there, it was the majority of his career from there was reservist, and so there wasn't that much moving around. He was doing his thing when he needed to. They do their 2 weeks every year of active duty kind of thing, training and whatnot. So no, I didn't move much. So
Gotcha.
actually,
Okay.
I didn't move at all. So yeah, I stuck around.
Nice? Okay. I come from a lot of members in my family are veterans, so a lot of love for our veterans. So definitely appreciate his service as well too. So what can I ask? What branch?
Yeah, he was Army the majority of his career.
Cool. Very cool.
He did serve Coast Guard, not Coast Guard, National Guard for a moment.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, but mostly
National
Army.
Guard. Okay. Awesome. Love it. So now as far as school, so like when you were, kind of growing up in school, was that something you were good at? Were you good at? Did you enjoy it? I know everybody's kind of different when it comes to school. Did you have a favorite subject even?
Was I good at school? Interesting. No, I hated school.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
absolutely hated
There's
school.
two camps usually, yeah. Right, right.
Yeah. I was Catholic school for first through fifth grade, part of sixth grade. They asked me to leave in sixth grade. They said, "I think we've had enough of you."
It's funny from a guy that sometimes gets called Lucifer. So okay, it's all coming together now. Got you. Okay. Right, right.
I think truly because we had some, and I don't want to get too deep into religion, and I have no disrespect to anyone's religious view
Sure.
whatsoever. But we had a few, at least, and I honestly don't know how old they were, but when you were a little kid, they definitely seemed extremely old nuns in that.
Right, right.
And so I am left-handed. All right.
Oh.
I'm raised Catholic, but I am also half Jewish. My mother's Jewish.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
I was looked at, from these old school nuns. Lucifer probably was the correct term, because if you read back to Catholic, the left-handedness is the sign of the devil.
Right, right. It's all coming together in my head right now. Yeah.
Half Jewish kid, left-handed. There you
Oh
go.
man.
So
Oh man. All right. Okay. Fair enough.
yeah. But no, I'm not I'm not a Satanist. Don't worry. Nothing like that whatsoever. But no, I hated school. Was not a
Okay.
big fan. I did like history to a degree.
Sure.
I'm trying to think. Did I like science a little bit of
Yeah.
science.
Okay.
That was probably about it. No, you know what? Actually, I really enjoyed literature.
Yeah.
Reading and writing,
Yeah. That's one of the best.
creative writing. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there it is. You said the two words right there. Creative writing. That's
Mm-hmm.
ever all I need. So awesome. Okay. So Was it they were ready to be done with you because you didn't behave so well?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you were definitely a
it
little.
was, it
Yeah.
wasn't like major troublemaking, but
Sure.
there was definitely issues here, there, and everywhere kind of thing. And
Hmm.
I made it known at that point I didn't want to be there either. And it's like, hey,
Your voice hurts
look,
about it. Okay.
quit spending the money on the education. Just let me go to the public school and save
Hmm.
yourself some money, mom and dad, whatever,
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. 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 All coming together.
Mm.
What? So when you were a little one, you mentioned Star Wars. That sounds like it's a pretty big anchor hobby, and obviously, like going on adventures and stuff like that. But was there any other bigger hobbies maybe that you had as a kid, or maybe things you were into? I know comics, cartoons, or whatever that might look like.
Yeah, yeah. Um, well, I mean, I think the same as any other '80s kid. GI Joe and Transformers
Yeah.
were the big cartoons. I didn't watch a lot of He-Man.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I yeah, and Thundercats. I remember Thundercats was one that the kids, everybody else loved. I was never a big fan of Thundercats, and
Oh, right on.
I don't hate it or anything. I mean, like what you
Sure.
like, but it never did anything for me. Um, the early teen to teen years, it got into skating, skateboards,
Oh.
and so that's again the whole it goes right along with the hating school kid. This
Hmm. Hmm.
skate punk and the metal, and got into about what 12 years old is when I got my first bass and started
Okay.
to learn how to play. And play bass, guitar, singing, and that's what became focus in high school, which was the problem in high school because I hated high school because all I really wanted to do was be a rock star, right?
Sure. Sure.
So that's what
Long
the
hair.
drive was. Very. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Had a feeling.
It was
Okay.
I had the old Jason Newsted shaved up at the sides. And
Yeah, there you go.
Oh
Metal
yeah.
as fuck. There you go. Right. Right. Well, it's funny too because when I first started watching you in content, and you have a very distinct way of recognizing people, which I absolutely love things like that. And you're always getting devil horns and shit like that. And like that's how I like in a lot of pictures I take, I'm always doing this and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like and
hmm
then I started putting together like your name and everything. I'm like that. I'm like this dude's a metal guy for sure. And then we kind of touched base on it. I know on taking the shot. So with that, like when it comes to like music for you, like what is it that kind of drew you initially like down that route? Was there a band that just kind of triggered you or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I music was always a huge part of my life. Even growing up as a little kid, my parents were big with music. We
Right.
used to listen to the 8 tracks.
Oh
That's
yeah,
how
my
old we are,
parents had.
kids.
Yeah, my parents had a. I wish, man. I swear, my parents had one of the biggest collections of eight tracks I've ever seen,
Oh
and they
yeah.
just tossed them and I think
Oh,
burnt them or something. And I'm
oh
like,
good
I
God.
think about that sometimes. I mean, as much as I
Mm-hmm.
love vinyls and stuff, still, I think
Mm-hmm.
about that eight track collection, and I die inside.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's heartbreaking for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Absolutely. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those, and the same. The vinyl was another thing. We'd have
Mm-hmm.
and you'd have the stack of them so that you'd set it up for like a playlist type
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
One
Yeah.
slaps down the next one. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
it was it was. I grew up with a wide variety of music, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what made me obsessed with it. It was as a little kid, it was the Beatles, it was Dolly Parton,
Oh,
it was
good drop there. Yeah, some Dolly
oh yeah,
Parton.
yeah, Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
and then all the Motown. We had tons of Motown.
Oh,
Diana Ross
nice.
and the Supremes, the Four
Same,
Tops,
same
Smokey
around here.
Robinson. And so from there, I think I 80s, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s kid. Thriller comes out, and that kind of that was my thing. It was our
Dude,
thing. Michael Jackson, right?
dude. That's it right there. That was the record we played the most because we wanted Thriller on repeat constantly. The actual song, that was our favorite vinyl growing up as a kid. And I have my mom's now original Thriller album. It's near pristine condition. That's now it's mine, which is amazing. Yeah,
Nice,
so that's
very
awesome.
very
A
cool.
man of culture with all them kind of like
Yeah.
different types of music you're naming there. I love that. Love that. Not
Oh
surprised,
yeah.
but I do love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we grew up in a great time with the 80s
Yeah.
in music. So, again, with all the metal that I love, there's, so much good 80s music that is not
Hmm.
metal,
Right.
that is just also stuck in my brain and stuck in my
Hmm.
soul. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it goes deep with the music for sure.
Okay. Okay.
You know?
So like when
Cool.
you decided, so was there something like that, just decided like, hey, I want to pick up a guitar, and you just kind of like you just decided to kind of gravitate towards the bass?
That was I'd always, and again, left-handed, so
Yeah.
I had a little acoustic guitar as a kid that I played upside down, right? Because that was just a natural thing. Dan the Toy Man, how you doing, my man?
Good seeing, buddy.
Good to see you. So then it was actually, I think, a little bit Van Halen, and then Bon Jovi, and then from there, of course, we developed into the hair bands, then into the metal, Anthrax, Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, so the thrash metal, Iron Maiden. So
Ah.
so just strumming along on this stupid little toy plastic acoustic guitar as a kid, left-handed backwards. So then it moves to seeing the videos and seeing that everybody's playing right-handed. So that's weird. Okay, I guess I'm playing it wrong. My parents always told me, "You're playing this upside down." I'm like, "No, I'm not. This is correct."
Right.
Yeah,
Do you,
left-handed.
right?
Yeah. So and see everybody, playing it the other way. I'm like, okay, great, all right. And then when it came time to start looking at instruments, and I actually got interested in it, and we had a great little guitar shop down the road that would let us come in, and they were cool guys. They always let us pick up whatever off the wall, pretty much. Typically, probably the low end stuff, but they probably
Sure.
didn't let us touch the good stuff. But anyway, so in that you get it in hand, and I started to realize a couple things. Is first off, back then, and it's probably the same now, left-handed instruments were difficult to get. You had them specially made. Most shops never had one in the store because it would just sit there forever and rot because nobody bought it. There are very few of them, very few left-handed players.
Right.
So it was tough to find a left-handed, and then there was a surcharge on top of it if you were to buy one. So I kind of just forced my brain to play right-handed, and so that's what happened. So I switched from left-handed to right-handed, and so when I was actually really learning to play, I was playing right-handed. Much easier to buy instruments, and then so
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
the switch to bass was, we had a couple of us that decided we're going to be a band, and we were like I said, 12 years old, and what the hell do we know? Nobody's
Right.
got we all had basements, back up in the Northeast, we got basements everywhere, but we never really thought about the logistics of parents letting us, make that much noise in the basement. You have to find someone who was cool enough to let you. But so one buddy had a guitar and he could kind of play, so he said, "I'm going to play guitar." I said, "Okay." And then another buddy decided he wanted to play drums, and he had half a drum set. That was interesting.
Right.
like-
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, we need a bass player," and everybody's like, "Oh, we don't need a bass player." Okay, fine, we don't need a bass player. But then I heard Cliff Burton, Metallica. Watched Cliff 'em all. So it was after Cliff died, right? It was after Cliff had passed. But it was Cliff Burton and then Steve Harris with Iron Maiden. Those were the two that it was like, ooh, because Steve wrote so much, and it wrote so much for Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Wrote on the bass, and was just the leader of the band. And Cliff was just an amazing songwriter, and that bass just had that presence. And I was like, you can make the bass do that? All right, I'm in. So that was essentially it for me. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can take the bass and still make this interesting, and it's not boring, because most people saw the bass as just riding that root note, especially in heavy metal. But so yeah, that's kind of where that went, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna be like Cliff, or I'm gonna be like Steve.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do you feel like you definitely lived up to that hype for yourself?
Yes, actually, and I'm probably tooting my own horn here, but fuck it,
Go
why
ahead.
not,
Toot
right?
away. Toot away. This is about you. Toot away.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I mean, in my 20s, we chased we chased that dream for a while, and
Awesome.
I had my band, and we recorded 3 albums. We have one our 4th one was never released. We didn't finish it, but we've got 3 independent releases. We did a little touring. We opened for larger acts. We've played with Bones, the lead singer of Stuck Mojo. I don't know if you know who
Okay.
Stuck Mojo
No.
is. No, okay. They were
That's
one of the first. That's okay. They were one of the first rap rock bands.
Okay.
Their big breakthrough music video was around the time that DDP and Raven were fighting over the U.S. title. And they were-
Remember that well.
Yes, and they had a video that they had both of them in, and it was kind of around.
Oh
that.
shit! Now I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
They were, and they're from Atlanta. They're from here.
Right.
Bones is a really cool guy. We've hung out with him numerous times. Well, their guitar player is the guitar player of Fozzy.
Oh
Rich,
shit!
Rich. Oh my God, what's Rich's last name? First name. The Duke. I can't remember his name off the top of my head for whatever reason, but yeah. So he's Fozzy's lead guitarist.
Nice.
And I met him a couple times too. Really cool guy. But anyway, so you got we played with bands like that. We played with Nonpoint.
Oh no shit. Okay,
Mm-hmm,
that's a pretty big name.
it is, and they were cool guys as well. I enjoyed that. We opened for Andrew WK, which was
Oh
a
shit!
wild night.
Or I bet the partying, right? Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. We opened another show with Kill Switch Engage and In Flames.
Okay.
Howard was
Pause.
playing.
Wait. What did you just say to me? Say that again for everybody, please. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We opened for Kill Switch Engage and In Flames. This
Dude.
is around 2000. I want to say 2003, maybe 2004.
So that'd have been probably Jesse still with KSE, right?
It was Howard.
Was it Howard at
It
that
was
time?
Howard.
I'm a big
Mhm.
Howard. Listen. I'm a big KSE guy. I enjoy Jesse, but I'm a Howard guy. I don't know. I don't know if that's controversial, but
No,
Howard
no.
Jones, man. God, I
Howard's
love Howard.
amazing. Howard
God.
is amazing.
Damn,
And Jesse is too. I love both of them.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get me
When
wrong.
people say, when people say that, people talk about that, and they'll always ask, is it Howard or Jesse? I'm like, dude, I can't choose. I honestly cannot choose. I love both of them, man.
Sorry, Jesse. I do choose a little bit, but
That's fair. That's fair. No,
Yeah.
100%. That's fair. I get it.
they're
When
such a good
Howard
band.
joined, yeah. Oh, they're amazing, amazing freaking band. Just and again, such nice freaking guys. Absolutely nice guys. No egos whatsoever.
That's awesome. And in
yeah,
Flames too.
good people.
Jeez, oh Pete's, bro.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, and I was just learning about In Flames at that point. I didn't really know much about them yet, but I was just kind of discovering them at the time. So that was cool. And it was just one show. It's not like we didn't go on tour with them. We were just we opened one show. I'm not gonna pretend like we toured the world with them. No, we didn't. Yeah. But we hung out with Seven Dust quite a bit as well.
Jesus.
Let me tell you my Seven Dust story because I got to
Yes,
get
please.
because I love
Please.
this story.
Okay.
So the coolest freaking thing is LJ follows me on Instagram on my personal account, my private Instagram, and it's all because they were talking about the I think it was the 20th year anniversary of Animosity a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Animosity, the third album, and I commented on it because the story with that was, I was already a big Seven Dust fan. When I first moved to Georgia, I saw them in it was called the Rec Room. Was it called the Rec Room back then? Yeah, it was called the Rec Room. And they were still crawl space. This is just before they signed or just before they released their album. I didn't know who the hell somebody just gave me a flyer, said, "Oh, you'll like this band." Okay, cool. I'm new to Georgia. I'm like, I'll go. Down in Atlanta. And that's a hot take, Jay.
That's just he is the king of hot takes. That's what I call him. But yeah, that's fair.
I will say this: Andrew WK is the nicest freaking guy.
Yeah, I've
Holy
heard
shit,
that.
what a cool dude. He
Yeah,
really
I've heard
was.
that.
Very, very welcoming. Very cool. But so anyway, so back to Seven Dust. It was huge Seven Dust fan already, and I was in a different band at the time, and we had a rehearsal space in this big warehouse place that everybody had it was cut into different rehearsal spaces. This was a huge warehouse, and so we were renting that, going there, and that's where we played. It's a little closet basically, and so I'm coming in one night for practice. And there's this one big room, like you're walking down this long hallway, this room. At the end of the hallway is this massive room, right? And this room people would use, they typically rent it out night by night type thing. Professional bands would come in, rehearse, do this, that, the other thing, and that's what it was. That's what it was used for. Then you go around the corner, and we're a few doors down from that. So I'm walking in, and you hear them like, oh, somebody's in the big room tonight. And I hear this riff, just over and over, and they stop and they start it back up, and I'm like, that sounds like Seven Dust. and the hairs on the back of my head start tingling, on the back of my neck I'm like, holy shit, Seven Dust is here. And I mean, they're from Atlanta, so not surprising, but they're here. right there on the other side of that wall. So then so I'm walking up. My guitar player comes running around the corner. He goes, "Dude, Seven Dust is in there. Seven Dust is."
Right.
So, so we're standing. So we ended up standing there in the hallway just listening for a while.
Yeah.
And and then the door opens and walks LJ, and I'm like, oh shit, it felt like Wayne's World. We're not worthy.
Right. Right.
So,
Good reference.
and he stopped, talked with us for a while, and hung out, and
Wow.
we met him, we met John, Morgan briefly, which I really would have loved to have met him, had more of a chance to talk to him, but LJ was the nicest guy. He came and hung out with us for a little bit, and they were writing Trust from that album, from the Animosity album. That's the riff that we kept hearing over and over and over again. They were in the middle of writing that album, so it was like, that's kind of like little,
That's
very cool stuff. I was just
pretty
like,
gnarly.
yeah. So first off, I love that album, always have, but it also holds a special place in my heart because of that whole thing, right? It was that, yeah. So pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if I've got anything else for you. We might have to end the stream right now after
All
all
right, good
that.
night, everybody.
Yeah, it's good talking to you. Thank you. No, that's amazing. Geez, oh Pete's. That I can't even fathom an experience like that for sure. That's cool, man. Can we can we find any of your music out on like the internet, like Spotify, YouTube, anything, like any of your old music, or is it all like something that still kind of just physical media?
Lucidian. All right, so it's Lucid and Eon. Put it together, Lucidian. It is difficult to find on the internet now, but if you dig deep enough, you can. And it's funny because somebody, I remember finding out a couple of years after we dissolved the band, somebody let the copyright lapse and everything else.
Gotcha.
When we dissolved the band, we were all went our separate ways. Never thought that anything, just kind of left it. And so somebody obviously bought the rights, and they created a tech company using that name. So
Makes sense.
when you look it up, you're going to find that a lot.
Oh, okay.
But if you dig deep, I know there's I think it's called Bandcamp or something. I forget what it was
Yeah,
called.
Bandcamp. Yeah.
Yeah, either Bandcamp or GarageBand or something. You might be able to find it. So Lucidian's a little tougher to find. The last project I was involved with was most of my Lucidian bandmates, and the engineer and producer who helped us on our last album, who was always a close friend of ours, and he decided to put a project together, asked us in, we joined. It was called Wake the Regiment.
That's a cool name too.
Thank you. And that wasn't as heavy. It was a much more rock kind of project. It started out really heavy, but the singer that we got involved was not a metal guy. So that helped. Helped, whatever. I don't know if you helped it or hurt it. I love most of that album, but it changed it to more. It softened it a little bit. So it was a different take for us. But that's Wake the Regiment, and the name of the album is World Without Heroes.
Okay.
And you can find that one still on Amazon Music, I believe Apple. I don't know if it's on Spotify because I think that album was released before Spotify, and I don't think we ever put it on there.
Okay.
But you can find Wake the Regiment, World Without Heroes. Now, if you look up Wake the Regiment, you might find a song that's called Wake the Regiment by a band called The Wedding. That is not us.
That is not you.
us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
we are not that.
Okay.
I don't really know much about them, but I've had people say that, like, "Oh yeah, I heard that song," and they sent me a link, and I'm like, "Oh, that's not us. That's not us."
Is it heavy or not heavy at all?
It's more punk. They were more of a punk type band, yeah. And not
out with that, too.
hardcore punk, but almost pop punk kind of thing. Yeah, very very different than us, but and nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. It's just it's not us. I'm not playing on that. So
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool too. I do got a good question out here. As both of us out here, two of us are pretty big fans. Actually, I'm a massive Zach Wilde fan. What do you feel about Black Label Society?
Always loved Black Label Society.
Okay, there you go. There you go,
yeah.
JC.
Yep.
Yeah.
My guitar player had an opportunity to do some stuff with Zach years ago. And Zach's another really, I've not met him. I wish I did. I need to. I want to hang out with Zach so bad.
Yeah, he's one of the goats for me personally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, even you go all the way back to when he joined Ozzy. You know, when he was the fresh, clean-shaven kid with the
Zach
frizzy
Sabbath.
ass. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And then Black Label was just, you know, you could hear the Ozzy influence in his voice, right? So much Ozzy influence on his voice, but Zach's guitar playing is just
Dude.
so damn good.
I got to see, so about 10 years ago, he was at St. Andrews Hall in Detroit, and it was just a Zach Wild Presents kind of thing. I tell everybody that it was the most face-melting show I'd ever seen to this day as well. He literally did a 10-minute wild-ass solo playing the guitar from here or behind his back while walking through the crowd at St. Andrews Hall. And I'm up on the balcony. It's an old church. And I'm just like, this is insane, like what I'm seeing right now. Like I don't know if I can even explain this properly to anybody unless you were there to kind of feel how amazing that is. And man, I'll tell you what, for my money, as much as I love so much of their songs, their last album was pretty gnarly. I liked it to come out this last spring. But there's just something special about In This River when he's playing piano for Dimebag. That song, like I've got a few songs that I feel like will emotionally trigger me, and I have the potential. I tell everybody it's a 50-50 if I'm going to drop a tear. That is certainly one of those songs for me, just because it's so fucking like emotionally heavy. Man, what a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Such
that's such a real, genuine, from start to finish. You know, that's, if you want to know how he felt about Dime, just go listen to that song.
My God.
And the friendship that those two had.
And the last time I saw him play guitar was now 3 years ago, when Metallica was on their major tour with like Pantera, and I think Five Finger I think was with them as well too. And Zach was playing guitar for Pantera, which was pretty wild to see that too. Like it's kind of like, dang, that's kind of, wouldn't expect to see that. So that was pretty awesome. So but I did want to ask too, for you, like what is there a bass player out there or two that, I mean, I know you kind of name dropped. Is there any more that you really just like, it's one of your favorites or somebody you really enjoy maybe?
Oh yeah, no, quite a few over the years for sure. Again, like I said, Cliff and Steve were the catalysts for it. Steve Harris from Iron Maiden, those were the catalysts. But you know, from there it was Jason Newsted. Hated him until I saw him live in '89, and because it was when Injustice for All came out, there was no Jason. You couldn't hear him. So my immediate reaction was, Jason sucks. He sucks. He's not Cliff. And I saw him live, and I was like, holy, and you could hear him live. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this guy can play. Yeah, he just, and of course you're young, we didn't know about burying him in the mix or anything else. But yeah, Jason Newsted was the one who made me shift to a 5-string bass, and also made playing with a pick an okay thing. I don't generally play with a pick. Majority of the time it's fingertip, but I will play with a pick from time to time if needed. And Jason was the gateway to that. From there, Flea, right?
Oh God,
Red Hot Chili
right.
Peppers,
Yeah,
Flea.
yeah.
Oh yeah. And not just his slap pop, but his melodies. He was a very melodic bass player as well, a lot like Steve Harris. Threw a lot of melody into it, which I thought was beautiful. Go back and listen to his, Under the Bridge. What's the name of it? I can't remember the name of the song now. I might wind up somewhere in Mexico, where I find my peace of mind. Peace of mind, is that the one? I don't remember.
Is that the name of it? Yeah, I know what you're talking. I don't know the name of the song, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember, but that again, it was all bass driven. So Flea, of course, Rush, Geddy Lee. I discovered him a little bit later after Cliff and Steve, but realized just how epic and how much Geddy influenced so many others. And that he had that fuzz tone that was just so good. Almost made me want to get a Rick at one point until I actually played a Rickenbacker, and I said, ugh, they don't feel good. They don't feel good. I don't like the feel of it. And of course, Les Claypool.
I was hoping you were going to say it. God damn it. I've been chomping at the bit for you to say that.
Waiting for?
I just wanted to make sure that you said it. Yes, thank you, God, because I fucking...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, my jaw hit the ground the first time. The first video I saw was Jerry as a race car driver.
Dude.
with him, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
I just love him so. He's a great, awesome weirdo and human. He's a great human for one.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime I hear him, you know right away when it's Les Claypool, and I'm like, God, it's just like it like feeds my brain. I don't know, but
Oh yeah,
good. I was
oh
hoping.
yeah.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
please say Les Claypool, so I don't feel like a dummy when I bring it up. Yeah, yeah.
We used to in between. We did it a couple times, a number of times. When my guitar player would be tuning during a show, he'd stop and tune. I look at my bass player. Excuse me. I look at my drummer, and he knew exactly what I was going for. And we'd break into "My Name Is Mud."
God, so good.
It was fun times, man.
Yeah,
no,
that's
less.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Awesome. Jay did say something out here. I want to call out here for a minute. I don't know if I knew that or not, but that's pretty gnarly to hear that or see that. So
That is very cool.
that's I guess we have to touch your hands next time now we see you. So because I didn't know that, but well, awesome. I guess I mean, clearly music, we get deep sometimes in these conversations with music because music is very important around my home. Brittany's a huge fan of music. She goes to concerts even more than I do. We love going to live events and stuff like that. So, clearly I put a lot of two and two together, just kind of watching you for time as well too. And I'm like, this is probably going to be some fun conversation about music, but I didn't realize how awesome and deep that was going to be. So,
Oh, we can go deep, yeah.
yeah. We could probably talk music for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that we get to know more about you too. So,
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that because Figure Fight Club doesn't let me talk about music, so they don't want to hear about my music shit.
they just don't give a shit. What'd you get in the mail this week? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So outside of that, did you have any like cool extracurricular activities or anything like that, or was that pretty much like growing up? Like you said, you skated, the music thing, or was that pretty much like a lot of you? I mean, were you collecting even back then a little bit, or?
Not really. No, I was probably in to a degree one of the later ones because and I don't know if it's the same now for kids, but it was that whole you got to a point where that was kind of taboo, and you really need to put that out of your life. Kind of when you start hitting those mid-teen years, middle school, it's like so there was a time, a portion of time, and my buddy, like I said, my buddy who I've known since I was 12 years old, he and I were kind of in that same boat, which was where we initially, I think where that friendship started was we weren't really ready to give up the action figures, and we really loved our G.I. Joe and Transformers and Mask. Oh, Mask.
Oh my God. I really wish they did that new line. If they'd have done that at least 118, I would have been all over it.
Yeah.
I really debated getting into it, man.
Me too. And the price priced me out, quite honestly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it was a little too much. Like, there's a degree I can understand, but it was a little too much. If that should have been a 118 price, I might have really heavily considered it. But yeah, no.
Yeah. Absolutely, and so there, so around 12 years old. So it was kind of like we were kind of secretly almost playing with toys for about maybe a year, and then it kind of dropped off. It was so everything stopped, and toys were not a thing. Action figures were not a thing. It was all in the past.
Sure.
For a number of years, I started collecting, at least casually, when I moved to Georgia. I moved to Georgia alone. Parents lived here. I kind of followed them down, but I didn't have anything in terms of friends or anything else yet. This was all new, and so I started reading Dungeons and Dragons books, Ravenloft,
Dragonlance, probably.
Dragonlance, yeah, Forgotten Realms, because it was just something that, it was just and it was cool, and I ended up loving that.
Good stuff.
And then found the Star Wars stuff and the expanded universe.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, the Timothy Zahn. So I started reading. I was reading like crazy, and it was just great. It was a lot of fun, but it was something to pass the time when you're completely alone, know nobody, and then walked into it for whatever reason. I forget why, but I decided to walk into a Toys R Us and saw Star Wars figures, Power of the Force 2 sitting there. I'm like,
still love Power of the Force, man. I love that line.
Yeah. I mean, they were bodybuilder Luke. It was He-Man Luke.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Like, I hadn't seen Star Wars on the shelves in years. I said,
Right.
That's kind of cool, and that's kind of what started it, as far as
Okay.
dipping your toe into collecting, and that was like it was waves. There were certain a little while kind of heavy into buying everything, then kind of stopped because life takes over and you got other things, more
Yeah.
important things. I never really thought of myself as a collector. It was just like, oh, I like these Star Wars figures, so I'll buy some.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
that was kind of it. So yeah, teen years was no toys, no action figures. It was all skateboards and guitars and bass
Right.
guitars and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, okay, and you mentioned, and I realized this last night actually, and I think I've caught word in whispers of you hinting to it before, but you were at, I don't know if you are currently, but you at least one time were a pro wrestling fan too.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
And that started all the way back to Hogan and Ultimate Warrior,
the
Rick
'80s, the good
Rude,
'80s
the
stuff. Oh yeah,
'80s,
the good
yeah,
stuff. Okay.
Mr. Perfect,
Yeah.
Heart Foundation,
Oh
Legion
yeah.
of Doom, all that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, and and then of course the '90s boom with the Monday Night Wars was
Oh yeah.
entrenched. We were.
Very entrenched. Yeah.
Yep. I love
You had to
that
be.
button on the remote control so you could flip back and forth
Oh
between,
yeah.
what was it? Was it TNA? No, was it TBS?
It was
It was
yeah, it would have been
TBS and USA.
TNT, I think. TNT, maybe USA.
Mm-hmm.
Was it T? Yeah,
Yep.
one of the two.
TNT. You're
Nitro and
right.
Raw. Yep. Yep.
Yep. Yep. And just flipping back and forth, trying to get as much of it absorbed as possible every
Right.
Monday night.
Right. Did did you get into ECW at all at that time in the '90s at all? Were you familiar with
Yes.
ECW? You as well
Yes.
too. Okay.
Oh
I
yeah.
know me and
Yeah.
Jay are big ECW guys too. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Very
Okay.
nice.
Did you have a favorite wrestler back then, or?
It kind of yes and no. Well, I mean, yes, absolutely, obviously, but I think to be able to name one was always difficult. So
It,
it's
it,
like,
it could be very hard. Yeah.
yeah, you could ask me any day, and I'd probably give you a different name. Like
I
I love
think
The
that
Rock.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I love The Rock when he
Mm-hmm.
really blew up. I was a Goldberg fan. I loved Goldberg.
Okay.
I mean, was he a
I
great
think we all
wrestler?
were during
No.
that run at first. Like we were all because it was new and different. Like right, that
Hmm.
was until he wrestled William Regal, of course. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
wrestled.
exactly.
But we call that what he did wrestling. But no,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but he was no different than the Warrior, and the Warrior was the
True.
same thing. The Warrior
Yeah.
was, just a powerhouse wrecking machine, and but I
Probably
can
coke
see,
sniffing. I don't know. Like I don't.
sure, yeah, yeah. The power of the Warriors, people.
My ADHD cousin loved that. You can
Oh yeah,
imagine.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. But the Warrior was so ridiculous. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can name one because at any given day I could tell you, oh, it was The Rock, oh, it was Bret Hart, oh, it was Rick Rude, it was I could say CM Punk. I love CM Punk. John Cena. I love Cena. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I
There's,
don't know.
there's
I
love.
can't tell.
Yeah, I get it. Love for them all when they come
Mm-hmm.
around, as it is. Hey, Prime, good to see you, man.
What's up, Prime to the
Been a
Verge?
minute.
What's going on?
Good to hear about your promotion. Congratulations again to you. That man, if you get a chance, follow him on Instagram. He makes awesome stuff for like diorama pieces, arcade units, diner sets. My man's talented. So if you ever get a chance out there, if you guys are around listening, find him on Instagram ASAP. He makes amazing stuff for your collection and photography. So it's awesome. Good to see you, buddy. So as far as even then, like because you mentioned Ultimate Warrior, and here's something that I feel like this might be, I don't know if it's controversial, but I feel like as kids we loved Ultimate Warrior because we thought he was wild, crazy, high energy, and also his promos were like completely insane.
Mm-hmm.
But as an adult, when I go back and listen to those promos, I can understand that, but I also feel like I understand more where his thought process was coming from in that, and I tied it all together. I think around the time, can't believe he was inducted to the Hall of Fame, and days later he passed away. And that last speech he gives, when you think about his entire timeline, and I'm not saying he was a perfect person. I know sometimes he was not great with in meet and greets and with other people, but you know when he gave that last kind of speech on WWE and you think about everything, it's very eerie to me. And then now going back and listen to his promos, I don't know if you've ever taken the time to do this, but just really try to understand where he's coming from. And it's almost like it makes more sense to me because I feel like he's talking about like an inner like power or spirit within you. And I know I don't feel like that's new, but I feel like as an adult, there's a different perspective there.
Mm-hmm.
So like when a lot of people say, "Oh, he was talking nonsense," I'm like, I don't know. Like, I kind of get that, but like at the same time, I think almost he was like, it's almost like he was like kind of next level, like being very existential in a way, and it was almost like there's a small part of brilliance in that for me. Sometimes the mad scientists are the most brilliant. So I'm gonna say that. That's probably controversial, but
Well, no, I see exactly what you're saying. And I agree with you. I think there was a lot of thought put into it. It was the presentation that you look at it and you're like, God, he was off the wall.
right,
Right?
He's on
Right?
speed or something. Yeah.
Exactly. And but that was the character. That was the whole thing. He was supposed to be just an absolute off the wall character that he was creating. But no, I think because you can go and watch a lot of and in fact, I was doing this last week. I was watching, it's popped up in the recommended on YouTube, and there are these old videos that he was doing for a while. I think they were YouTube. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
it was early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, it's after he was. I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, and he's just kind of got the camera on him, and he's just kind of talking to you, and he's not doing the Ultimate Warrior thing. He's just him, but you know, it was interesting because I watched one, and this is like 15 minutes long, and he's just sitting there in his gym, and he's got the camera on the side of the face, and he'd look at the camera and talk, and then he'd talk to straight ahead, and there was moments of I don't know what this guy's talking about, and then he'd slip back into prophetic stuff, maybe not prophetic, but very very good philosophies, very
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
and
It's
solid
interesting. Yeah.
philosophies, and so he kind of slide in and out of that. So I think he liked to talk, right? I think he certainly had an ego, but
Oh yeah.
everyone does. So come on,
Right.
everyone's got at least some. But at the same time, I think there, I think there was a good person in him. I do believe that. I think there was, and someone who did want to help when he could in certain areas. So yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He
Interesting
was.
guy.
Yeah. It's very interesting, and and when it comes to promos too, like I felt like maybe not as a kid, I didn't realize until much later in life. Speaking of promos, like I rewatch a lot of Macho Man's promos now, and I have for like a long time, I guess I should say, because YouTube being a thing, and
Yeah.
like when it comes to promos, there's just not people that can do promos like as well as he does, like either too. So and I oh dude, yeah, oh yeah, cream rises to the top, yeah, Mean Gene, yeah. There's just something different about him as well too, and I'm a current pro wrestling fan. I watch pro wrestling weekly. I'm a super fan. I don't know if it's a super fan, but I guess I kind of am if I'm watching it. I guess weekly still, but yeah, and I do feel like that there's a layer of some of those kind of promos, like that kind of cerebralness that is missing. I mean, there's some people out there that do and really do some good job, but I feel like it's not everybody has found that magic, or it just doesn't exist as much. So, and I wish, because I'm a big like raw wrestling fan. Like I like the wrestling piece of it a lot, and the storytelling obviously in the ring, but also it's a balance, right? You want a little bit of that storytelling, that drama, and sometimes those promos like that, like where it's just you and somebody like Gene, or you got a microphone in your hand and not out in the ring trying to like showcase back and forth with somebody. Like some of that stuff just doesn't exist like that anymore. And that's one of the few things that kind of bums me about nowadays. But do you watch pro wrestling still, or is that something more in your past?
Not as often. I find I'm watching more, and part of it's just I don't have the time.
I get it. Yeah. I mean, you're
Yeah.
a man who streams 6
So
days a
it's
week now, so yeah.
Yeah. I'm an idiot. No, I have a lot of fun. I do. But no, I'll watch a lot of clips. So clips pop up on Facebook, on YouTube. So I'm kind of, at least to a fair degree, still, semi on the pulse with it.
Okay.
Because I'll watch the clips. I'll watch, some of you do the, WWE is good about putting up their clips pretty shortly after the show goes on. So we'll watch a lot of that on YouTube. So now again, you don't see as much of the undercard stuff. So I kind of wonder, what happened to Damian Priest? He's been gone for a while, but
Yeah.
or at least seemingly not on any of the clips that pop up. But yeah, to a degree, I kind of follow along. It's nice to see LA Knight getting
Yeah,
This push with Roman right now. It
long
seems
overdue.
like it seems like he's always been on a start stop, and I
Yeah,
really
it's
think.
ridiculous, man.
And I think he deserves a spot, and so
Hmm.
I'm liking what they're doing there.
Hmm.
It's interesting to see what they're doing again with the bloodline, bringing it back, and
Hmm.
but it's a little fresh take on it, so I like that. You see different players involved, and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
What
Yeah,
about you? Who's
well, I don't watch a lot of WWE anymore.
mm,
It's a layered reason, but I do keep up with clips. I'm a big Kevin Owens fan. I love Seth Rollins. I love Randy Orton's been. Man, I got so much slack as a kid, or I guess not a kid, like years ago for being such a big Randy Orton fan right out the gate. And
mm,
then my friend had to eat crow about 10 or 15 years ago, say, okay, he's pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. And a Cody Rhodes, I'm a big Rhodes family fan. So there's people I still watch the clips and try to keep some dibs on. I'm an AEW guy personally.
okay?
Indie wrestling and like those smaller promotions is something I kind of grew up around here. Some of my close friends. I got a good friend that wrestles on AEW right now, so I really watch. I watch a lot of AEW, so that's kind of my anchor. I just kind of keep up more with WWE, but I like to watch a lot of like local, like smaller regional indies. Like I keep up
Oh
with
yeah.
like Glory Pro, AAW Pro. It's one of my
Mm,
favorite. We got another one, XCI out of Detroit, and then Scott Demore, who is the reason that TNA Impact is back to being TNA from Impact,
mm-hmm.
and they let him go, which you can eat that TNA. But then he started his own promotion again up in Ontario, the Maple Leaf crew, and they're kind of now affiliated with AEW, which is pretty cool. So that people can kind of mix in through there. So yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
it's it's a little bit of a weirder, deeper run than everybody else. Then when
Yeah,
it comes
yeah.
to my pro wrestling, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just because like I grew up around going to local shows and I really like a lot of the indie stuff. And like I kind of mentioned, like that the wrestling itself is something I love. New Japan. I didn't even. That was the other one I didn't name drop. Is
Okay.
New Japan too. So it's just
Yeah.
kind of like my DNA just fits what I like when it comes to wrestling more with
Mm-hmm.
AEW. So
That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah,
So yeah, you're
yeah.
definitely more deeper into it than I think
It's
I
it's
a lot
it's a
more of the
diff-
indie
it's
stuff.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that kind of side of it, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
until you're exposed to it, I guess like you don't really realize there is a difference. Like it's a little bit
Oh,
for
there is.
everybody. Like, and the problem with wrestling is that the fans are so toxic. Like you're very tribal, one side or the other. Like I don't like WWE. I don't really prefer their product,
Mm-hmm.
but I still like I'll still watch some. I still try to keep up on the clips and things like nature. I just don't like getting too deep into the DNA on that. So, but yeah,
Gotcha.
and it's because a lot of it again is because like I got personal friends that have been wrestling for years in wrestling. So guys have been
Mm-hmm.
on TNA Impact, guys have been in AEW. So yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite things to do this every week. I have to watch something every week when it comes to wrestling. So
I
very
gotcha.
very hooked.
Yep.
Um,
There's yeah, and I'm thrilled to see that once again there are a lot of good promotions out there,
there's a
and
lot
I'm
of options
thrilled.
now.
Yeah, and I'm thrilled to see AEW. I want nothing but success for AEW because the whole thing is competition creates a better product all over. When
Bingo.
WWE bought everything out, we had a number of really shitty years, and it was
Yeah.
because Vince controlled everything, so Vince could
Yeah.
do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
And you had that, it wasn't good for business. You've got a lot of people that get fired and had nowhere to go. You had guys sitting at home collecting their Time Warner paychecks and not bothering getting. It was kind of a terrible time. It was a good time for certain guys in the business,
Mm-hmm.
but overall for the fans, I think it was a pretty lousy time. That whole
Mm-hmm.
WCW, ECW, and ECW was right there on the fringe always, right? Yeah, WCW and WWE
Mm-hmm.
and ECW right there. That was an amazing time for wrestling.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah. Yeah, the probably the true golden era. Everybody, because even now, like as much as people can love and enjoy it, like everybody references the Monday Night Wars, and if people are aged out of that, we old heads still talk about that because you had to be there. We didn't have the internet like that. We didn't have that social media like that. It was it turned from like even though WWE was like the forerunners of like mixing like being more of a cultural phenomenon and mixing like the movie industry and the music industry and stuff. You know, that old Vince back then was a visionary, and
Oh
you can't
yeah.
take that away from him in that sense. He's clearly obviously a piece of shit in real life and now, but at that point, you know, as far as the business, he at one time was a visionary. But sometimes if you don't evolve with yourself in the product, you also kind of like, you know, become like you look like you can tell that you've aged out of that, because that was the
Yeah.
problem in like the late years and like to 2016, like the Daniel Bryan stuff and all that stuff. That's when I really walked away from WWE. It was like, I can't do this anymore. So, you know, it's too much. Don't listen to Nightbot.
Yeah.
I don't know why that thing just keeps doing that.
What's it
Jay,
doing?
I've got this YouTube Nightbot here to help, and he's stop spamming symbols. Like, don't tell anybody what to do, Nightbot. I just want you to get rid of naughty words. Come on.
Yeah.
Pay no attention. Keep spamming if you want. I don't have to turn that off. But you know, so now, you know, like we've gone through all of that, and we're at an era now to like where, yeah, as good as it is, and there's a lot of good, and there's a lot of options and things of that nature. You still just get caught back going to like, you remember that time that Mick Foley was tossed off the top of a Hell in a Cell?
Yeah.
I do. No,
Yeah.
there's no, you don't see anything like that too. I think WWE really hurt themselves in a certain way when they went publicly traded. Then at that point,
100%.
you're, you know, I've never wanted PG in my wrestling necessarily, and I think that hurt them for a while. For some of us old heads, at least, and some people stuck around. That's fine. Just not my thing. And it still hasn't really gotten better in that sense, and I think that's why AEW is something I lean more towards in that sense too, because it is a mature product. So, but you know, as long as pro wrestling's healthy, and like you said, creating competition, that's what's important, because it makes them both have to come to the table. So,
Agreed. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. They have to step it up if they want to. You know, without the competition, you can just sit back, and we saw it for many years.
We
You can
did.
just sit back and do nothing. I don't care what this guy does. Whatever, throw him out there. You know, there was even that. You know, and I don't. You know, again, if you read, I don't know. We read the dirt sheets, right? So I don't know if this is 100% true, but there was that whole time where it was at least going around that Vince didn't want to build any more superstars after John Cena because he wanted the company to be the superstar. And that was I'd read that, and again, I don't know if it's true. I'm just reading
Right.
what I read. I read that the whole purpose was the company was the star, and the wrestlers were just there. They're the product, right? So it was this odd not pushing anybody, and everybody's 50-50 as far as their wrestling records and everything, and it was nobody was being
Right.
elevated. And
Right.
you know, Roman was set up to be this corporate guy, sucker and succotash, and that hurt him severely. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in 2000, what was it, 2012, 2015, or whatever, he's sitting here saying, you could get away with that maybe in 1985, but not now. It
Right.
doesn't work.
Right. And I think honestly, Roman's a pretty good example for me to also say, like, even though I started watching wrestling more when Vince got out, and because I kind of was a Triple H guy growing up too.
Me
So
too.
when he kind of took over prior to TKO, and that's when I stopped watching it, because there was a brief stint where I was watching. And once TKO took over, it just feels more product and soulless to me. And that's whole, like I said, I could talk about this forever, and I'm not going to try to drag it out any much longer. But what I will say is that, like, I actually really thought the Bloodline was great, and I know that a lot of people don't like it, but we had never seen this villain heel stable have such a massive run for so long. And when so many people were mad and tired of him having the belt and sick of it, that proves that it was the right thing to do, because you hadn't seen that, you
Right.
know? And for me, like, I loved that shit. I ate it up. I was like, this is great. Like, I love heels, you know? So for me, like, to have that kind of run and have that, you know, I just felt like it was a wise choice. And if you got everybody upset and want him to lose the belt, you got all them motherfuckers turning back in, though, to watch those pay-per-views to see him lose the belt, and he wasn't dropping it. They got you every time. It was brilliant.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was brilliant.
Yeah. It was the first time in years that they were able to pull off something like that to
Yeah.
such an epic scale. And to have that, you know, because it put so much importance on the championship. Here's one of the things, this is a side note, that I got to say is, like, what I also loved about it is typically your Samoan heritage wrestlers, you know, for so long, they were always the the headhunters and the island guy. They couldn't speak. They had to dress in
True.
grass skirts, and they were
Even
showing
Rock
us
when he started too.
right, and they were showing us they were just tribal, and they
Yeah.
were
Very classic. What is it? Caricature
right,
that Vince loves. Like leaning.
yeah,
It's almost kind of like you're almost leaning a little bit into like your like a race thing as well too. It's like come on, these people. Come on. But,
right, yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And so with their and a lot of them used to have the handler. Right,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and they were like treated like these are wild, the wild Samoans,
Right.
and to a character degree, fine, whatever. But it became the staple, and to see these guys now, it's I love it. You see the Islanders, you see our Hawaiian and God, what Samoan
Yeah.
roots, and all that's out the window. They are the people that they are, just like everybody else, human beings, right? And then they're at the top of the because they were never at the top, right? Ever. They were just the guy. They were the monster fed to the face, and now these guys at the top of the food chain, and I love that part of it too. But going back to the whole the root of the faction, again, it is a great heel faction that carries on for so long. Does it have stale points? Sure, it can get stale, but eventually you had to have someone break and beat them and knock them off, which happened. And so now it's a rebuild, and it looks a little bit different right now. Still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely something. Even though I don't really watch a lot of it, like, I've definitely been watching clips. Like, and I'm not even like a super Roman guy, though. I think he's turned into a great like that version of him has been the best for him. But like seeing Solo Sokoa finally talk, because I had heard from people I know that wrestle and know him in the industry. Like apparently he is legitimately like a fun guy. So now finally seeing him do that, because I don't know if you saw the clip a couple weeks ago. I was dying laughing when one of the Usos did the bang thing or whatever at him, and he's in the crowd. He's like he looked around like anybody get shot like or something like that. Like I'm like that's that's very funny. Like I love those little bits and things like that. So it's cool to see him kind of get that more of a spotlight too. So, but yeah, man, like, as you can tell, I can talk pro wrestling forever. It's definitely something I'm quite passionate about. So when I was catching whispers and you mentioned something last night too, I'm like, man, he at least is an old head when it comes to that wrestling. So so I love seeing that. I love being able to talk that, because not everybody really is. So
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
well, I think it would be crazy if we didn't kind of start getting into now the present day and the things that you got going on now too. So and you kind of mentioned about collecting. You said you hadn't been collecting for super long. So kind of give me that timeline of that, like, or maybe you were still picking up stuff here and there. You said Power of the Force back in the day, but like in the last like 10 years or so, I bring this up because like there's a lot of people that COVID was their start for them, because we were all home not doing anything. People started doing content of all different types, a lot of toy content, either customizing, picking up stuff, because we were getting, we had some extra money running around there at that point too. So were you before that, or what did that look like for you in the collecting side of it?
Okay. Yeah, no, collecting has been forever.
Okay, so it's never so it's never really stopped
Right,
as much.
it's never
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
never stopped. I mean, if you look, if oh god, if I go look in like I got a closet right over here, right off camera here,
Yeah.
that is literally, you open it up and it is just, you got to carefully remove boxes and boxes and boxes of figures. Now I'm a more broad collector than I was for many years. It was nothing but Star Wars.
Okay, it was.
And it
okay.
was specifically Star Wars, and it was just figures. I didn't get
Same,
really
honestly.
vehicles or anything. Okay, and 3 3/4, and it was all Star Wars 3 3/4, and I've got probably thousands.
Wow. Okay.
Because we're talking from '95 through
Yeah.
roughly 2013.
I could probably come close. I don't know if thousands. I could probably come close, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah, they're all boxed up now too, but but yeah, a lot. Let's just put it that way, a lot.
Okay.
Probably close to 1,000, maybe. I don't know for sure, but there's a lot. And so so that was 3 3/4, and then GI Joe started doing the 25th anniversary, and I didn't immediately jump in. I saw them, but again, I didn't have that much money. I got kids. I'm raising the kids. I don't have
Right.
all this money. to
They
spend
also
on
need
toys.
toys.
For me. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
So so I was like, well, no, I'm going to stay focused, and then kind of dip my toe a little bit into the GI Joe, and I got some. I don't have a huge modern GI Joe collection, but I've got a decent amount. But yeah, 6-inch kicked in with Black Series, so 2013, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get on board with that. It felt weird at the time, but then they keep pushing. You're like, well, there's not going to be much in terms of 3 3/4 anymore. So if you really want to collect, you're going to have to buy these Black Series. I'm like,
Yeah.
fine. So now,
Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So you see this right behind me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 others off to here that are all Black Series. So Black Series was the big deal.
Bring you up a little bit too, just to kind of
yeah.
see. I did see Hot Rod back there, so that's why I figured out Transformers a little bit too. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Transformers started with number 1, reconnecting with my buddy, my childhood friend, when we reconnected because he's huge Transformers. So he's the one that got me started here.
Hell yeah.
And that was kind of a COVID thing. That was because of my buddy and a COVID thing. So that's when I started collecting the Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
War for Cybertron was Siege was it was like all that G1 goodness or that G1 style goodness anyway.
Did you watch the Netflix series, The War for Cybertron, and all that too?
Hated that. I did
What?
watch it, but I hated it. I hated it so much. Oh, I watched every episode.
Oh no.
I did not like it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying. I'm crying. Did you play the games at all? The War for Cybertron, the Fall for Cybertron. I don't know if you're a gamer at all, but like, okay, so they're a lot like that, and I think those games came out before that, and they're really good. So it felt like a lot that. And then okay. Did you watch Transformers Prime at all? You familiar with that series?
Oh yeah. I watched that with my kid.
Oh, that was I'm a big fan of that one. It's a really good line. Kind of like a G1 versus or a G1 mixed with like modern day Michael Bay, and they kind of mashed them up together, and it's actually really good. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not dying inside. Okay, I'm good now. Continue.
My son, Prime came in the perfect time. My son was obsessed because it was during he was in that age, and so he and I would watch that. We watched every and that was his Transformers really.
Yeah.
And that's what he loved, and I loved Prime. Loved animated as well. Transformers animated when he was really little. That was still kind of around because it started before he was born, I believe, or it fell right into that wheelhouse when he was a little kid. So Transformers animated was a lot of fun.
It's like Power Rangers. Every generation gets a new.
Right.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very good marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as the collecting started, heavily Star Wars, Power of the Force. Started to phase out of 3 3/4. GI Joe finished their 1/18 scale, possibly forever. So GI Joe was kind of done. I was picking up pieces through eBay because you can find a lot. People were selling stuff off for cheap.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a thing for a while, and then it kind of, like I said, it expanded into Transformers during COVID. And then they finally came out with, did someone say Transformers?
Right. No, I'll come back to you, Jay, in a moment.
And then then G.I. Joe Classified. It was like, okay, now we're going to get back into G.I. Joe. And it was weird at first, but they kind of odd choices for the beginning of the line. Mm-hmm. Didn't love it, but I kind of liked it. And it's kind of okay. It's kind of cool. And then, of course, the line evolved into what it is now. And so during around that time of G.I. Joe, Action Force, Valiverse. I loved that. That was another one where it was, I'm dipping my toe because I wanted that Sergeant Slaughter to supplement my G.I. Joe. It was more about, I'm going to supplement my G.I. Joe with this new Action Force line. And then I got a couple of them and I'm like, oh, I kind of like these. And so it kind of became its own thing.
Right.
And so on and so forth. And then Savage Crucible.
Oh, buddy, we're going to trust me. I've got a dedicated segment coming up. Don't you worry.
All right.
You know it's happening. You know it's happening. Jay does want to know about that Action Force Rocketeer, if you're excited about that.
Yes. Yes, I am. I think it looks very, very cool. I like the take on it that he's done. I'm looking forward to the whole 1944 line
Cool.
and seeing where he goes with it. I don't know how deep I'll get in because again, it's like, oh, who am I kidding?
We know.
Yeah,
We know.
who am I
Yeah.
kidding?
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that it looks very cool. I like what they're doing there, and I also like the Big Bad's version that's which is more I believe is more the comic version, more traditional comic version that's being worked on, and I like that there's both. I
Yeah.
want 'em
A lot
all.
of options. A lot of options.
Both. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's when it comes to that sort of stuff, everybody seems to be eating pretty well and pretty excited, and that's pretty cool to see that too. And these are not Hasbro. I don't mean to be that guy, but like it's not Hasbro, which is kind of, I'll be honest, it's kind of nice. So
It is.
competition, just like wrestling, you got to have competition, so got to
Mm-hmm.
keep everybody coming up with fresh stuff. So do you still have any like gems from your childhood, like stuff you collected as a kid that you still actually have like somewhere in a box, case, safe, or whatever that looks like, that you're like, you look at your kids like, don't look at that too deep, I don't want anybody touching it, kind of thing?
So yeah, to mention that, my parents never threw out any of my toys.
Man, lucky.
I still have them all.
Oh, you have them all. Excuse me. Okay. Wow.
Various shape, not exactly. I played with them as a kid, right?
Yeah.
My Star Wars figures and toys and
Fig pigs.
vehicles are what's up, fig pigs?
Good to see you.
And not in great shape, right? They were heavily played with.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe still-
We said Gundam.
Yeah, we say, yeah. We're just talking about Gundam right now. Robotech's next. Don't worry.
Yes. Yep. My Transformers. Now I didn't have a lot of Transformers as a kid because they were
Okay.
expensive, and we didn't have that much money, and it was kind of like, well, you could get one Transformer, or you could get three GI Joe. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
get
no
the three
brainer,
G.I.
huh?
Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
But my vintage Transformers are in very bad shape. In fact, I opened a box and found three of them just in pieces completely. They fell
no.
completely apart.
Oh,
So
no,
yeah,
Okay.
my mask collection is most of it's in decent shape. There are a couple of those that didn't, the springs wear out, and this is, you're talking 40 plus, 40 plus
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So to answer your question, yes, I have all of them. During the beginning of COVID, my parents were like, well, because they've got a huge basement, and a lot of that stuff was in there because their house is a lot bigger than mine. And they were trying to push me to take this stuff, and I'm like, I don't have any room for it. So my father would come over sometimes, and he'd sneak a box into my garage.
Brilliant.
It's like he won't notice, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so finally, it was funny because it was actually retro blasting that got me thinking about more of my old stuff. And and I've been watching retro blasting since about 2015. I mean, they're kind of like one of the originators, I think, of YouTube toy world.
Yeah,
to
the
a
OG,
degree,
yeah.
right? Yeah. And they kept, watching some of their stuff just made me start thinking more and more about it. So I went and dug up, all my GI Joe. I found the boxes with all the GI Joe action figures, and I was like, oh. And what I was amazed about is how many were in really great shape, except for the rotting O-rings. So I had a project where I took it all home from my parents' house from storage, and started working on re-O-ringing everything. And so I re-O-ring my figure, and then I had the bags.
Oh my.
Put them in the bags with all their accessories, and now I've got them. My GI Joe collection,
Yeah.
vintage, is actually in just. That's the only part of my vintage collection that's all like organized. And it's wonderful.
Nice.
But yeah. So that was
Okay.
fun.
A man knows how to handle an O-ring.
Yeah.
everybody, so. Is there something from your vintage collection of growing up that's like your favorite? Do you have a favorite, or?
I mean, yeah.
It's hard.
One of
It's
the
like trying to
things-
say
it
pick
is.
What's your favorite kid, right? Like I get it.
Right.
Like, or
Right.
one of my favorite. Like, who's your favorite cat? I can't do that. I get it. So.
It's tough to say. Like my my very first GI Joe was Flash, straight arm Flash. It was '82, the original, and he's a floppy mess. right? Because I played with that one, and even with the new O-ring, he's
Are we still talking about the figure?
the arms are yes. We're
Okay,
talking about
just
the
checking.
figure.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of context. I want to just make sure for everybody listening out there what we're talking about here. In case you're tuning in right now.
Yeah. The action figure's limbs are floppy.
There we go. There we go. Just checking. Okay.
Just clearing the air.
Yeah.
But I've got every piece to him. So that's a special one for sure. Boba Fett is the original Boba Fett, 1978, 79, 79 actually, 79.
Is it? Yeah.
I think if I got him in 79. I got the mail away, so the mail away Boba Fett.
Nice. Okay.
Still got him. That's a special place because I still remember. I remember waiting for this figure and the mystery behind who Boba Fett is, and I loved Boba Fett.
He's
love Boba Fett.
Still my favorite. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, now Ahsoka's kind of really
Okay.
inked up there too. I'm a big Ahsoka fan, but yeah, Boba Fett's still. Yeah.
I think they've done a great job with Ahsoka. I hated Ahsoka at the beginning of the Clone
We all
Wars.
did.
And yeah, and absolutely great development of a character.
I went and saw that movie in the theater. The baby, was it Gruda, or whatever, or Jabba's, whatever. I don't know. I don't remember. But the first time seeing Ahsoka as Hayden's, I remember seeing it in the theater, and we were all like, "What in the actual fuck is going on right now? This is awful." And then by the time you get through Clone Wars, you're like, "Damn, that talk about character development." And then you get to Rebels, and now it's like crazy. But I digress, anyways.
No, I agree. Yeah, he did a great job with developing her for sure. In Clone Wars again, that was my son's era of Star Wars.
Oh,
that
so you
he
can share that.
absolutely loved.
Yeah, that's great.
So we would watch all the Clone Wars, and for growing up, his favorite, which was wild, his favorite of the live action movies for the longest time was Attack of the Clones. That was his favorite one, and because he was a huge Jango Fett fan, and
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I get it. I'm rarity. I actually really like Attack of the Clones. That usually is controversial as well too. I can recognize there's awful parts in that, especially in Naboo, but I don't know. It's cool to see all the Jedi in that arena.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you take out, like you said, the Naboo section, the love, if you take the love story out of it, you've still got a really cool movie.
You do.
And the love story's not, the dialogue's not great.
They
but
just
story,
didn't have chemistry. It felt like, right?
Yeah,
Like
it was forced. It was kind of forced.
I see what you did there. Clever. You clever. Very nice.
Total accident.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, completely.
my bad.
Completely sorry, but I like that. Thank you. Clutch, dude. Clutch. Oh yeah, I remember when I got the Vamp as a kid, and yeah, I was obsessed with Clutch and the Vamp. Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool figure. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. That's so yeah. I've got quite a few of my child, and a lot of, like I said, a lot of the childhood stuff. None of it's on display. It's all in boxes and put away kind of thing. And
Right.
I don't chase, and I think that's a big reason why I don't chase a lot of vintage. Because I know I talk to a lot of people like, oh, I go looking for vintage stuff and I buy vintage stuff. And I'm like, I think the reason I don't is because I probably already have it. And
Makes
it's like
sense.
yeah. And I get, they're like, well, I want, a pristine copy. I'm like, no, I get that 100%. And if that's your wheelhouse and what you're looking for, that's freaking awesome. And I I've done a couple. Flash would be an example. I never had, as a kid, I never had the first OG-13 with swivel arm. They were all straight arm, and I got them all, but they were all straight arm. And I remember as a kid, I always wanted the swivel arm because they got put aside when swivel arm became a thing. It was like, well, you guys can't do what these guys can do, so you guys are going to go in the box.
That's a big upgrade. Yep.
Yeah.
It's an upgrade at that point.
So I did pick up at Joe Lanta a number of years ago. I picked up a swivel arm Flash complete, and got a great deal on him. Oh my god! So
Something special about finding something like that at a con randomly, in good condition with all the pieces. Like there's been a couple figs I picked up over the last 10 or 15 years at like a con or something like that I either wanted to replace in my collection, missed, whatever the reason, right? And when you find that, it's just, I don't know, there's just something really, really special about that. So awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a toy line where you've just like, and this can be even recent in the last like decade, just a toy line you're like, I just can't get into it. Maybe you tried, or maybe everybody's big into it, or maybe they're not. But whatever it is, there's just a toy line that just kind of that's an off switch for you?
There's so much. There's so much.
You can throw out a couple if so. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm trying to think.
I don't wanna
You
hurt
hit
you.
me with something. Yeah, you hit me with something difficult. I'll say, and it's not that it necessarily turns me off. It's just, I mean, there are a couple reasons involved. I'll start with anything turtles, and I might hurt people with that, but I enjoy the turtles. I like the turtles, but there is no nostalgia pull because by the time that started out, I was aged out and not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked the cartoons as a kid. Never really cared about the toys.
Gotcha.
Because I was a little too old for the toys. So turtles would be one that I really don't have much interest in collecting. I've never collected any turtles. He-Man has a little bit of a pull, but I've resisted. Every time I've thought about, ooh, I'll buy one, because I know if I buy one, we're buying 20.
Yeah.
And I didn't grow up I didn't play with He-Man. I didn't have He-Man as a kid. Again, it was, and I'm sure you can kind of relate to this. We didn't, we were never rich. We were not a rich family.
No.
It was, if you want He-Man, we're going to stop the G.I. Joe. You can't have it all, dude,
Right.
I was like, well, I love my G.I. Joe, so I'll skip the He-Man. My buddy down the street had all the He-Man, so we'd play with his He-Man.
That's fair.
We're good. Yeah.
Very perfect. Yeah, balance.
Yeah. So there's been a slight pull every now and then of, ooh, you got to pick up that He-Man figure. I'll see one that is like, oh yeah, like anything Trap Jaw. I'm obsessed with Trap Jaw, but I've never owned one.
Same. Big
Yep.
Trap Jaw fan. Always my favorite villain of Skeletors.
Oh yeah, yep. Very cool cool character. But I've resisted. So I've resisted that. So I guess I can say that. I mean, and there are plenty of others that I don't collect.
Sure.
But yeah, we'll stick.
That makes
with
sense. Yeah, and you're kind of right there too. Like I was fortunate in the '80s. Like I felt like I dabbled in a lot of toy lines, and I was born in '79. So I think that you have a little bit of a lead on me.
Yeah, you're the same age as my sister. You and
Right.
my sister were born in '79. So
Okay, right on. Yeah,
little bit
still
younger.
got
You're
the
pretty much younger.
'70s. Still my favorite music era of all time too. But that's a whole other topic. But so like for me, like GI Joes were some of the early first ones, but then. So we started a little bit into the G.I. Joes. I might have actually been a little bit of a late on that one, even though it's been around compared to everything else longer. But He-Man was like my big anchor, I think, into toys. And you're right, because like I remember I had so much He-Man, but like I didn't have a lot of Joes, and I got a good amount of Transformers too. That was another big one for me. And I was just in that age group to where it lined up perfect for Turtles. So that's the only vintage toys that I still have actually are those Turtles. But
Nice.
but you're right, like you can't have it all, right? When you're growing up like that, like even though the JCPenney ads, when you go back and look at the old prices of them, you're like, oh my god, like how did I not have all of these prices? But that dollar stretched different back then. So so okay, that's fair. Yeah, I get it. And like. I feel like I'm finding more and more people these days that, kind of weren't into the He-Man. I guess when I started kind of getting into this group of folks in the toy community, I didn't realize how big G.I. Joe was such an anchor for so many people.
Yeah.
It was definitely more of a flash in the frying pan for me. And I enjoy it. There's characters I freaking love. Like I've owned probably 6, I think, the classified figures just because I love Destro and Serpentor and things like that nature, but that's really about it. But compared to the Black Series, they're an amazing figure in my opinion. But that's also a whole other topic too. So I actually expect you to say McFarlane because I've been hearing there's a lot of controversy with McFarlane toys. So everybody's like, oh, I fucking hate McFarlane figures. But
That's a good point. We pick. There's so much picking on McFarlane, and I'm not.
It's like
I
easy
would
at this
agree
point.
with that. Yeah, I actually only own. Let's see, right here,
Come on, there you go, Jay.
one single McFarlane
We'll get
figure.
there.
That is
One single Uno.
it. That's it right there.
Did you win that, or did you actually buy it?
This was they were at IshCon. They had if you had the VIP ticket, IshCon was so awesome as far as giveaways. The
I've
VIP
heard.
ticket, they had this stack, this massive area that was all I'm pretty sure it was all McFarlane figures, and you were allowed to pick one of whatever, just one. It was part of your VIP pass. Pick one. And so I picked this one
Right on.
because, again, I don't collect. I was like, I don't know. It's Batman. I like
Yeah.
Batman.
Batman's cool, yeah. Who don't like Batman, right? Like,
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. And there were some other ones. I missed out because there were some
does
others
set
out there
records.
before I got there.
he really does. Good to see you, dude.
Do I really?
He does.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you definitely. In our circle, yeah, you definitely smoke me. A lot of people. Well, now I'm getting to know a lot of people in the community. Yeah, a lot of people smoke even my collection. But yeah, you got quite a display behind you. That's probably what he's seeing. So anytime he can knock me down a peg too, probably makes him
So
feel
much
better. So yeah,
That's terrible. That's how we do. That's what we do to our boys, right?
that's right. That's how we roll. That's how we roll.
7 Dungeons.
So how about as far as figures this year? Can you name like maybe a top 3 figures this year that have come out that you're really, these are my favorite figs this year that I've gotten, and it can be mixed any line, or you can shill if you want. That's fine too.
There you go. There you go. There's definitely going to be some shilling.
Yeah.
One of the top ones that I still find myself gravitating towards every damn time is Naraka. And I got to tell Nikki that, which is kind of neat. Last week on the show.
That's
on
right, you
Friday.
did.
Naraka is still a contender for me as figure of the year. I love that figure.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Savage Crucible, for anyone who doesn't know.
And you will shortly.
Yeah, we'll get there. So that's a big one.
Funny, Brian.
What we got? A pile of
Toddy figs makes sense.
Oh, you
See,
should have
it's-
seen the pile, my friend. You should have seen
Low hanging fruit, but that's so funny. Yeah.
it was. Yeah. It was a massive pile and they were, if you were a VIP member or a VIP pass, you pick a free one. Was it 2 or was it 1? I don't remember.
Had to be 2.
It might have been 2. No, it couldn't have been 2.
Because you only got one, right? Right.
Yeah, I only have one. So.
Right.
Oh, I think it was 2 from. I think I got one of the more deluxe ones. That could have been. I don't remember. Whatever it was, got it for free. Well, yeah, got it for free from the VIP. So it was cool. Whatever. But it was all McFarlane. Yeah. And
Right on.
so
Okay.
yeah, they
Okay.
all. Yeah. So Naraka for sure. And this has been a crazy year that I've been getting into the monster, not so much the monster force. Well, some of the monster force, but overall the big bad workshop figures have been. I got the gridiron skull crushers are full on.
Cool. Bring it up.
Very very cool figures.
Yeah.
I'm loving those. I
Yeah.
think they're doing a great job with them. And again, this is another that they're. I love that these indie lines are advancing and improving as they go. They put one out in the gates, and when Monster Force first came out, they were very good, but they had some issues, and they've been tweaking things. The new joint system that they're using is so smooth, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I really like Skull Crushers, and okay, so Blackbeard's not here with me, but Valor versus the Blackbeard is
Big fan of that.
Yep. Okay, so you got Naraka, you got Skull Crusher, you got Blackbeard, we got. Have you guys heard about the new MCU Punisher from Marvel Legends?
Oh yeah.
Dude, I had to bring it here.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God! Of course you did. It's so funny.
If you guys follow on Figure Fight Club, this has been a thing for a couple of weeks now.
That's very funny.
It's not figure of the year, but it is a good figure. I do like it. But
A lot
it's
of
not
people
my top.
do really enjoy it.
Yeah,
feel
it's
like
very
so.
photogenic.
It
It's
is.
very good likeness and everything else. But well, this guy right here is definitely a favorite. The
Oh
Arthur
gosh, yes.
Sentinel. Yeah, looking
Yeah.
forward to the Titans drop. The Titans exclusive as well, but this is just a phenomenal figure.
That really surprised me, because when I first saw that, I had to like take a double take, and I was like, my God, that looks really good. Like the colors on it, like that figure pops. Like a lot of their color, their characters look really good. We got a lot of colors in the line and stuff like that, but there's something about that figure, and like anybody that takes a photo of that figure, it just looks so good.
Yeah.
Like it just pops. Like that is that you know, and I'm a big Brynjar fan. That's my favorite so far that they've released.
Mm-hmm.
But that Dravarthi Sentinel, man, like unreal,
Yeah. Yeah. They
unreal
really,
figure.
yeah, I'm with you. They've really kind of knocked it out of the park with him. The whole imagery. I mean, you talk about a savage human.
Yeah,
That's it, man.
yeah, you can't get any more savage than that so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So I'm definitely loving him.
that's killer.
There's so much, but we could go on another hour
That's some-
for that. Quite
That's some good
honestly,
ones, yeah.
again, here's another beautiful one, Bernice, and I just kind
Yeah,
of been dipping my head into, or dipping my toe into. And I'm not all in on Zezre whatsoever, but I do like her.
No.
And it kind of supplements
Yeah,
some
yeah.
females for
Right.
Savage.
I got her and Hilder. She's a great figure.
Hilder.
Yeah, they're both awesome figures. Just like you said, like I needed a couple of ladies in my Crucible, and I got to get some photos out of her too. That's kind of my plan today, get some photos of her today. So,
Nice.
but yeah, that's a great figure. I mean, and it makes me kind of want some of the other Gladiator figures too that have come out. But at the same time, I've got so many dude figures for my Crucible. Like it's like I'll just kind of grab some of the ladies. Works well. Not literally, just talking action figure.
Right, action figure.
Yeah,
Clarify
consensual,
that.
of course. Yeah, obviously. So I think it is a perfect time. We've been leading up to it. It's time, as we call it, to shill for our favorite, well, at least my current favorite line, and we shill all day, every day. I think is articulated. Said the other day too. So, but wait, what was Jay said? Who called that exclusive live in the chat? That is true. Yeah, he did. I don't know if you saw that the other night on the Thursday stream. He was the one that called it and said, "Hey, Ren and Stell shirts. Is that a hint to the drop?" He was the one, and Stell even mentioned it. Stell said, "I think Jay said it and brought it up." Yeah, he called it. He noticed, and like I noticed that they were black and white too, but I didn't put it together. Like I was like, that's kind of weird, but maybe it's just a different variant of shirt. Well, yeah, Jay took the ball and ran with that. Yeah, so that was pretty cool to see that. So.
Very cool, Jay. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your props. You're also kind of a shill too for Savage, so it's good you're here for this. So, tell me about your, I guess journey into Savage, or like what that looked like you picking up the first figure. Maybe what was that? How did you get introduced into it? I guess from the start.
Okay. The very first introduction was it was kind of funny. It was Toylanta, 2024,
Okay.
and I was on my way to go see Kato, who was helping Spiro work the Spiro booth, and because I had met him the prior year at Joe Fest kind of briefly, and I wanted to actually get a chance to sit and talk with him. So that was my whole intent. I'm walking by to go see Kato, and as I'm walking, there's the Savage booth right next to Spiro. And Matt was Savage. Matt, I won't. You probably know his last name, but I won't put it in here just in case
Right.
I'm not gonna dox, whatever. So Matt, and he was kind of the main guy, and I never even knew what this was. Hands me, this poster for this thing, Savage Crucible, and this was, I guess, the still at the Kickstarter stage. And so, oh, thanks, and we ended up started talking. Matt's a really nice guy. I love that guy. And I ended up talking to him for probably like 30 minutes,
Awesome.
and told me all. We talked about the line, and I saw these Lemurians, and I'm like, it's not really my thing at the time, because again, all my focus at that point was definitely more modern military. GI Joe and Valaverse Action Force were my thing. That
Gotcha.
was my wheelhouse. That's pretty much what I was primarily collecting at the time. And so I saw it, and I was looking. I was like, okay, that's cool, And Matt was the nicest freaking guy. He really was. A lot of fun, and you could tell his passion for what they were doing, right? And so that kind of stuck with me. And I had this poster that he gave me, like I said, that I came home with. And but past that, that was it. Wasn't even thinking about it. Saw him, looked at him. I remember asking him the very first thing I asked him, because they had a couple mock-ups of the humans, and I said, "So when you getting the barbarians?" And he's like, "Oh, and I didn't know much about Kickstarters either. I didn't really have that much knowledge of how the Kickstarters worked or anything else. So, and didn't quite understand all of it. So, but the humans weren't going to be at first. And I said, man, the humans I'm interested in. I said, the Lemurians, I don't know.
Right.
The lizard people, they're kind of, and don't get me wrong, that's changed. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm trying not to. Okay, I'm being patient. Go ahead. Yep.
Be patient, yeah. But at that time, I wasn't doing fantasy lines. Wasn't really my wheelhouse. But I remember that always stuck with me. The two things that stuck with me was that Matt was the coolest freaking guy. He really was, real nice guy to talk to. We talked a lot of Aliverse too, because that's why I told him. I said, well, that's my wheelhouse. But that was that. That was that. And so that was the beginning of 2024. Fast forward, going into heading towards Toylanta 2025, the announcement of Death Dealer that's coming. It was like, oh, well, that's something different, because Death Dealer has a place with me, going back to my childhood, going back to my father's military career. I'll give you the short abridged version of it. Is my dad's unit that he commanded at the time reached out, and this is probably mid-late 70s. He reached out to Frank Frazetta, sent him a letter asking for permission to use the Death Dealer as their mascot at their unit. For their unit. And this is all this is the 70s, so it's all paper. Now I don't have the letter. I wish there was a copy of the letter somewhere. But mailed him a letter asking for that permission, got that permission, and
Holy
the Death Dealer
shit.
was so they used the Death Dealer as their and we had they had this these tire covers, and it was basically back then it was like this plywood type thing, tire cover for their Jeeps, and it had the Death Dealer on his mount, spray painted on there kind of thing. And so when my dad was done with that, that came home with him. And so that was in our basement for God knows how long. And I see it all the time. So I love that image. So when they announced that, I was like, okay, I'm 100% in for the Death Dealer.
right.
Yeah. So that'll be my, I'm not getting into the Savage stuff, but that'll be the Death Dealer. And then Toylanta shows up, and I go and got to talk with the guys a little bit again. And that's when I think that's the first time I talked with Stella a lot. And then it was like, okay, so I'm going to do, I'm pre-ordering the Death Dealer. We know that. And I kept looking at him. I'm like, you know what? Let me just grab one. So I grabbed the Shield, because he was the exclusive Zolocon and Toylanta.
Was that your first? Was that your first figure? That was
Mhm.
my first figure. I don't know if we talked about that before. That was my first, to own Crucible figure from a giveaway that Jay Hove and Seven Dungeons did. Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
I won it. Yeah. And
Very
that,
cool.
Yeah. Very great figure still, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you picked that up. Okay.
So that was it. And that part was, I remember prior to that, Nikki was talking it up. I want to say it was on 3POA when they were kind of promoting Zolocon and promoting Toylanta, and that they were coming, and that was the exclusive figure. And I remember her talking it up, and that was her paint master that she did. She did that figure, and I was like, it
Beautiful
does look
figure.
cool. It is. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that's where it started. So yeah, the very first figure was the Shield, and I still wasn't planning on diving in, and I, for the longest time, Shield was the only figure I had. I liked it, but I was like, I'm not getting into another line. I'm not doing it. No. I'm fairly disciplined, believe it or not. Well, I was fairly disciplined.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I'm looking behind you. I don't know how disciplined, but are we ever? Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that, and then it was IshCon 2025. That was the first time I went to IshCon, and again, Savage was there, and I was picking up for Hendo. House Hendo asked if I'd pick up one. I think it's one of them. I think it was Viteris. Yeah, he wanted me to pick him up, Viteris. And I said, okay, sure, I'll pick him up.
Yeah.
And I ended up talking to the Savage guys a lot longer. I talked to Stella a lot at that show. And so I saw Viteris, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. And I'm picking it up for Hendo. I'm like, I'll buy one for me. Sure, why not? And I kept looking at Nin, and that head sculpt on Nin is just, that's Skeksis.
That's yeah,
right?
man. Yeah, man. Same. Soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh my god, Dark Crystal, Skeksis. I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I got Viteris for Hendo. I got a Viteris for myself, and the next day, because I kept thinking about Nin, and I went back on the next day, and I was like, I ended up, I didn't buy him until Sunday of that weekend. So I waited till the very end of Sunday, but I was just like, I woke up that Sunday morning because the show was gonna go on and be over, and I'm heading home. And so as I get there, I'm like, I woke up saying, you know what, screw it, I'm buying Nin. I went right down and bought Nin. So, but that's yeah, the door kind of started really opening at that point. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm in.
You're in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What a tale! What a tale from there to now being a couple of shills for a toy line that we just love so much. And I know, like, a lot of us, that are, and we probably sometimes sound silly to outsiders when it comes to the way we shill and how passionate we talk about the line. But for those that do or don't know, I don't know. But, like, you gotta understand, like, Harbinger as a crew are so approachable. They're so friendly. They're transparent. You can tell Rob is passionate about it. Like, they all are, obviously. And as somebody who loves fantasy in general, I mean, it feeds the itch the way it does so perfectly. As somebody who was a big He-Man fan as well. So there's a lot of things that just, like, you just can't really almost put into words until you're in the community and the camaraderie and everybody's, for the most part, outside of like some of the recent stuff that we've talked about the Elric stuff, and you can tell there's a lot of outsiders that recently got in because of that, and that's great because we want to see them grow too. But as a community, it's just such a great community and tight knit. So why wouldn't you want to shill and support as much as you possibly can and say, yes, Harbinger, you own my wallet, and I'm perfectly fine on that because they do so right by everybody, even their customer service. And I know sometimes you just got to be patient. It's not like it's a big crew. Just be patient. Give it a day or two. They're going to get back with you, and they're probably going to take care of your issue. So just know that this is the kind of people that you want to invest your money into, and I think that's why we're some of us are so invested. So it's just been great. Making all the friends in it. So. That's awesome. I love to hear kind of how you grew into that like that too. It's different than mine, but I think everybody's got this great tale or similar how they got to get into it. Because I wasn't a Kickstarter person on that, unfortunately, and yet I can't wait for Wave 3. I can tell you that right now.
I know. Yep.
I'm so stoked for Wave. I'm a big Lovecraft guy. So like the fishy guys, the fishy boys, all this stuff. Like I'm hype because I'm also looking at these too. Like I like to doctor up a little bit my Lumarians. So I'm seeing these fishy boys with these like blues and greens and purple colors, which I'm like, these guys with some contrast paint maybe or some other things, we're gonna make these things look, they're gonna pop. And I can't wait to customize. So, so would you say that, is it fair to say maybe that Death Dealer is probably your most anticipated release still with them right now to get in your hands?
Yeah, that's hard to say because
And see that I know
that
it's
was a year ago, right?
I know,
it was 2 years ago.
right.
And
Right.
a lot has changed since then.
Yeah.
Yes, I will say because again, seeing the progress of the figure and what they've put into it is mind blowing. And when we're going to get it in hand, I do believe it's going to be a game changer. That chainmail is glorious.
And the face swapping,
the weathering they've done on the chainmail from where I saw it, where we saw it, the very first prototypes of it, to where it is unbelievable. So highly anticipated for sure.
Yeah.
Most possibly could be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, looking at what they showed off at Joe Fest, there's so much other good stuff too.
You're right. I completely forgot. You're right, dude.
Like I'm chomping at the bit for the goat guy.
I was just gonna say the goat boy and that like
The
demonic
red
looking
skull thing.
dude. What in the hell? And the primals to be able to customize in Kit Bash, like
Yeah, the primals look phenomenal. Yeah,
dude.
so much fun there. So it's difficult to say. But yeah, I mean, and Death Dealer's so close. He's like right there. He's on the
Yeah, he
water.
is.
We got like, what 2 months now in hand. I can't. Oh, but
How many you got pre-ordered?
I only have 2.
Okay.
And again, when I first initially pre-ordered them, I got them directly from Savage Crucible, and I only got 1 because I was like, at that time that was a ridiculously high price based on what I typically purchase.
Sure.
For a 112 scale figure at that time. times have changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the time it was like, oh, that's a high price for a figure. I'll get one. We'll be good. And then as time went on, and then they're like, oh, we'll do the horse. And I'm like, oh, well, now I need one for the horse and one for not the horse, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And thankfully, the Frazetta Museum still had them available.
Okay.
And so
Yep.
I pre-ordered my second one from Frazetta.
Same.
And yeah.
Same. Guess where I pre-ordered my third through? It's like I did Savage.
Articulated
I did
Empire.
Bingo.
Dude,
Bingo.
I missed Articulated Empire.
Oh, man. Yeah.
by just a fraction. Because I was thinking about getting a third. I was.
Yeah. No,
And if I have an opportunity, I will pick one.
Right,
Pick up a third.
right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking third for straight, just like kit bashing and using the pieces for other things. Maybe I don't know, but there was just something about it because Death Dealer's so iconic to me as well too. That was always as a kid like my first introduction to Frazetta art, and so like I'm just stoked in general for it. And I was like, I want to get a third one, and I knew it was getting limited. And honestly, I'll shill for Articulated right now too, because I'm telling you what, you guys, it's one of the best third-party companies that you can buy your toys from.
Yes.
Ships super fast. Like,
Yes.
that man might not sleep. I don't know, and he's also one of the nicest guys around too. So if you want a good place to support and get your figures in that line, maybe if you're, and I'm a big bad toy like everybody else, but maybe once in a while, instead of going to big bad toy, go check out Articulated Empire. And you're gonna get it fast.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed. I agree.
won't be.
Absolutely great. $75 free shipping of 75 up. All right. If you don't live in, I can't remember what state, Illinois, I think.
Yeah, I
There's
think
no
it's
sales
Illinois.
tax. No sales tax. So 2-3 figures, you got free shipping and no sales tax. And I'll tell you, granted, I have gotten to know Steve, and I consider him a friend, but I get the from other people who I've talked to who have also taken the shot on it. Taken the shot. Oh, I just did the thing. Shh, I said the thing.
Coming full circle again. You're really good at this. I got to tell you, whether you know it or not, you're really good at this.
But people that don't know, that have gone ahead and ordered from him, I hear the same thing. And I'll tell you, the first time I ordered from him online, because I met him at Toylanta, and we had a great conversation and everything else. But the first time I ordered from him online, we didn't know each other all that well. We had met that one time, right? I got an email with a tracking label 2 hours after I ordered. And then I took that tracking and put it in I think I want to say it was USPS. I could be wrong. I put it in there, and they already have the package 2 hours after I ordered.
He doesn't sleep, dude. I'm telling you.
Yes, there is. He's not
Timbo.
wasting time. He's not. What's going on, Timbo?
What up, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said for that,
Yeah.
And absolutely perfectly packaged. I want to see him succeed with that for sure.
Yeah,
'Cause it's good to have
absolutely.
those options. It's good to have another option.
Absolutely. So he definitely will be somebody that I definitely try to aim more of my business to for sure. And listen, I've never technically met him. He sees me in chats. He's been on your show, sees me in chats. He'll talk to you. He's friendly on Instagram when you have to message, or obviously I like to try and share people's photos and stuff like that. He's gotten that shot he put out this week. I'm telling you right now, it's one of the most amazing shots I've seen the last couple weeks. I told him straight up, like, I think somebody mentioned it too, like, that is wall worthy shot that he took this week too. So but he's just a great guy, so no, you can't say enough about him. And again, like we say about Harbinger, those are the people I want to support, the ones that you can tell are kind and really are humble enough to want your business, but also it's more than that. There's passion there too. So he's trying to bring everybody a service to things that he loves, and you can tell. So it's awesome. And continuing the shilling, I am wearing my Jaeger shirt. I want everybody to know that. I do got this on today. I did wear my Jaeger shirt because I knew we were going to shill a little bit, as we always do for the Crucible. So no, it's a great figure line. If you're not into it yet, you need to get at least one, and you're going to be hooked, I guarantee. That's what it was for me. I touched one or two of Macomo, I think, and a Veterus Rapex, and Jay Hova says, here, check these out, and that was it. One a Shield, and then I've been hooked ever since, so it's awesome. So speaking of some of those things too, I guess with the toy photography and kind of figure fight club, just kind of start angling it back home here. You know, what came first for you? Was it taking photos, getting involved in Instagram? I'm assuming maybe, or did you get in, like, how did that work? Was it Figure Fight Club first? Like, I'm kind of new to Figure Fight Club. Unfortunately, I feel bad to say that out loud, but it's also I feel like it's oh man, like yeah, and it's because of Jay. Honestly, kudos to him for getting me more on site and getting to know you guys as well too, and through some of the collabs and stuff like that. But what came first on that? Were you already Instagram photo taking or?
No, not at all. When the first time, because Figure Fight Club started, for me, it was the thing, the whole open mic night, and I watch a lot of these, a lot of you guys out here, and it was pretty cool because I remember I watched a lot of 3POA, and I enjoyed, and I love what Yojo Jerk and Gaines have done, and I enjoyed it, that kind of stuff, and I like that. And there was times it was like I would love to have conversations with some of these people. So, and I'm
Same.
lazy. I'm not starting my own channel. I salute you, Tone. It's a lot of work that goes into that.
It is a lot of work. Yes.
And so I was watching a lot of these lives, and they did a lot for me. They were at a time in my life I became an empty nester, and it went into a kind of a, I won't say depression because it wasn't a depression yet, but it was definitely kind of a little lost. All of a sudden I'm not having to raise my child anymore. He's an adult and he's doing his thing, and I'm just kind of sitting around like I have a lot of time on my hands. And so it was a weird transition period for me. And some of these live streams helped me a lot. Watching these, and I started getting involved in the chat and started actually talking to some of them. And I was, that's kind of cool. Chad is another one. I'm not getting into any of the. I'm not a political guy. We're not getting into any of that, and I'm not even. But there was a time where there was a very enjoyable group of shows there. It was so. That kind of got the. I'd love to have more conversations with some of these people, right? And so then Figure Fight Club started doing the open mic, and I'm like, I'll jump in, and Abby was always the most welcoming guy. He has always been. Yeah. So I jumped in on open mic once, and ball of nerves. I don't remember saying all that much. Just kind of sitting there listening to everybody. But no, everybody was cool. Everybody, and at the time it was like everybody's talking. Oh, I got this new Mythic Legion. I got this Mezco. I got this. I'm like, I got this Black Series. It's like I don't know. It's like I wasn't much into.
Am I involved?
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
right.
I there's a lot of. I felt odd, but everybody was cool.
Sure.
So and so, I think I jumped in one more time, and I didn't have any equipment or anything else. I was doing it on my phone, blah blah blah, but like I said, everybody was very welcoming. And then I stopped just because I didn't really know if I fit in this or whatever, not sure. And then I met Abby at Toylanta, and in person we met and we sat and we talked for a while, and he urged me. He's like, "Come on this week because we got to meet, and we can that can be part of the show, is the fact we talk about Toylanta, and you can talk about your experience." I said, "Okay, cool, I'll do it."
And what circa time frame is this? Last year, or year before?
2025.
2025.
So
okay,
we're talking
okay.
March, March 2025. And so I did. I came back on, and then just kind of, absolutely not. It was just funny for me because you guys had so much more cooler, to a degree, kind of, and it's cool.
Right.
I felt like the odd man out a little bit because it's like, does anybody even like Black Series? But everybody was kind of cool about it. They're like, oh, I love Black Series. I'm like, all right, good. So anyway, jumped back in, and then it became kind of, started going more, kind of weekly. And I found like it was more and more looking forward to Tuesday night open mic, and learning, and again, a lot of enablers out there. Thank you guys. OJ Mack is one who got me, kind of put a bug as far as Mythic Legions and Savage Crucible as well. Just a lot of cool people, and I started to get to know them, and like I said, very welcoming crew, and just kind of as it evolved. So that was happening. I had no Instagram, toy, anything. It was up until that point, it was kind of me by myself, collecting by myself. I don't have many friends that do it. I've got my buddy who we reconnected after a few years, like I said, but he lives back home. We're what, 1,000 miles apart. So we talk on the
Right.
phone, we text all the time, but we don't hang out.
Sure.
So this was a new thing. I'm actually kind of getting to know other collectors and hanging out with collectors, and so it was becoming a lot more fun. And I started the Instagram page. I think I started it in. I want to say. I'm trying to remember my timeline. I started the Instagram page, I think, in March of 2025.
Okay.
And initially, it was just, this is going to be my toy page. I'll post my new findings or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I still hadn't
Yeah.
even thought about actually trying my hand at photography. I hadn't quite got that far yet. There was always kind of an itch and a thought, because D Amazing was one of my biggest influences
Oh, great.
early
That's
on.
great. That's great.
I love his work. I still do.
Yeah.
And it was always kind of like, wow, if I could do something like that, that would be awesome. Hang on, what's that?
Don't worry.
My voice.
You're fine. You're right. He says, Jay does say you take consistently some of the best shots on Savage Saturdays. And I'm going to bring that up in a second, too, because I got a feeling there's a reason why I agree with that, too. So,
Well,
I mean,
thank
they're
you
all
very
great.
much,
Don't get
Jay.
me wrong.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate that greatly. I have a blast with it. But so, yeah, and we get that. So it just became more of a consistent thing with Figure Fight Club, and started getting to know everybody. Got to know Abby. Again, Abby and Talib, I consider very, at this point, I consider close friends. I love those two. And everybody else that comes around through the chat and through the open mic, gotten to know quite a few of them on a little bit more personal basis, personal area. Friends, it's like, oh, I'm making friends. Hell, you, Tone. I consider you a friend. I really do.
Absolutely. Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
we can sit there and chat on Instagram. So yeah, it all kind of just started developing, and
Yeah.
and I started putting a bug in Abby's ear, because Abby and I got into a conversation when I went to IshCon last year. It was the first time going to IshCon, and that was really cool. And we had a chance to really sit and get to know each other on more of a personal level. And I was nothing more than a guy that showed up on Tuesday nights at that point. But we got talking about the channel, and he was actually asking my opinion on things, and in structure and things of the channel, not just my opinion on an action figure, and kind of there was a little bit of a deeper bond for sure. Hell, he took me to his house and introduced me to his whole family. Wonderful people. I love them to death.
Great.
But that was kind of so. At that point, that friendship was brewing, and I felt special that he asked me, my take on certain things, maybe even a little bit of advice. And so it kind of, at that point, I was like, well, if you need somebody for something, hit me up. And then it went from that to, I would really love to be a deeper part of it. And so I planted the seeds. I threw it out there of, hey, I would love to, if you need somebody, if you need a co-host, if you need this. And over time, that just kind of developed into September, October, I was officially a co-host of the channel. Which
Awesome.
is a lot of fun. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's purely what it is. It's fun. It's so yeah. But then the Instagram part, as far as photography, started like dipping my toe into actual photography versus just taking a picture of my toy. Probably May of last year is when I kind of started actually trying to
Sure.
get some lighting and get some angles and learn what the hell I'm doing. So that's yeah. So it all just kind of snowballed from one little inspiration to the next to the next, and there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's awesome, Tale. Like I said, that's one of the reasons I love these conversations. I love hearing kind of like that. It's always about the journey for me, right? Anything. I think that's one of the most important things. And to go back what Jay kind of said about your pictures, like, listen, everybody takes great pictures, and there's no denying that. Like, it's hard to ever say what's a favorite, but I think part of the reason why I really like what you do, and I feel like there's some similarities a little bit in us, whereas you create big set pieces, and it might not have a lot of pieces, like material pieces, but you're always going for this like a scene almost, there's always like we always joke about we both clearly love the same aquarium plants and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking like little obscure details that probably are relevant or whatever, but for my eye, like I love a lot of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just, I think, how my brain works, and I feel like you're the same way in that too. Like there's always these little things or nice little touches. You added a fog machine, which holy shit, dude! Like that instantly took your a couple of your pictures recently, and you were like, whoop! I was like, damn, he just leveled up in like days time. So I gotta figure out what you picked up because I may have to try to follow suit. But because I bought the ones I bought, they're not working out the way I thought they were going to. But that just changed the dynamic as well too. So and that's how I feel. Like I feel like because for me setting up a scene, and I don't know if this is like this for you, like I'm talking like a half hour sometimes before I even take a picture. Like I'm very meticulous about placing stuff, and I kind of get the vibe that you're kind of like that too. Would that be right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm sure everybody kind of
tweaking.
is, but like I feel like you're there. You go. Yeah, you're.
Mm-hmm. It's and like you were saying, it's that whole environment and world building, and you say creating a scene, and everybody's got their own personal preference. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember talking with Frankie about this. AO Frankie, he likes the very basic black background. All
Yeah.
focuses on the figure, and that's his
Sure.
preference as to how he likes taking photos.
And they look good.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Me personally, my preference and your preference is create that scene, create that whole, and the little, like you're saying, the little nuances, like this one little skull over here in the corner.
Exactly. I
Right?
obsess about that stuff.
Yes.
It's the detail.
Yep.
Yeah.
If too many skulls are looking right at you that are all over the floor,
Right.
that looks weird. It
That
shouldn't
looks
be
weird.
way.
You got to
It's
turn
be
a
more
couple.
random. Yep.
See, I had a feeling. I could tell. And that's when he said that too, because I was going to bring that up about your dial scenes and how you set up everything too. Like, I think you're very meticulous, like I am too. That's
Yep.
it's great to hear that. So,
Yep.
what's one of the biggest pieces of advice that you've gotten that you feel like that you really ran the ball with and it kind of upgraded your picture taking?
There's so many and so
Right.
much. There have been so many fantastic people. Because what I love is just, and surprising, is just how little gatekeeping truly is out there, right? Because I mean, I sat there. Maybe I should. Is it okay if I name drop? I feel weird sometimes name dropping, but
Oh
I've met
no.
some great
This
people
is
that it's,
this is
you know.
about you. I'm not there. I don't feel a certain way about anything. So go
All
right
right.
ahead.
All right. So like everybody's been approachable. There's not been one person I've talked to thus far that doesn't want to, tell you something or give you advice if you ask. Like, with Articulated Empire, Articulated Times, when I met him, I knew him as the guy that runs Articulated Empire. I had no idea until I found him on Instagram that, oh no, not just that, he's a hell of a photographer.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of great advice from him in terms of lighting. What was one of the biggest things I think, and I can't pinpoint one specific person because there's many. Lighting is key on so many levels. If you can get your lighting dialed in, just about everything else will fall together. And I remember I'd hear it all the time, but until you start playing with it and seeing it for yourself, you're like, oh my God, you're right. Lighting made that so much better. That's what brought that whole thing together. So, and there's been Articulated Times, Steve, Sneaky Figures has given me a lot of great advice. D Amazing, I've gotten some great advice from just
Awesome.
watching his stuff and getting a chance to actually talk to him. God, I don't want to miss anybody. That's the problem. I start naming names
Right.
and I don't want to miss anybody.
Right.
So,
Right.
every single one of you guys in the Savage Crucible Saturdays crew, each one of you guys has given me some kind of piece of advice that has been helpful. And then just like playing off of each other. So the one piece, I think the biggest piece of advice would be lighting.
Yeah.
Lighting.
Okay.
If you can get your lighting dialed down, everything else will come together. You can get the rest of it figured out. So lighting and angle maybe, because again, I don't take picture. I take pictures with I've got a Galaxy S24, and I'm gonna upgrade soon, but I got a Galaxy S24. That's what I take my pictures with. And so you don't necessarily, if you like the work that I'm doing, then I guess I'm proof in the pudding.
They're
that
crisp.
You don't necessarily need a super fancy
Right.
camera to get it done. It will help. Don't get me wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
know, but this costs a lot of money, and we're
I
spending
mean,
all our money on these guys.
right. That's where I'm at. I'm thinking about changing around and upgrading some lighting and equipment, even what I'm using to take the photos with. And I'm like, it's not that I don't or can't spend, I guess, a little bit bigger on a camera. It's like I already got a good one that I use for this, and I can't. My brain doesn't want to work out that I can also use this for other things too, because some of these cameras, like when you start adding on pieces, it's almost as expensive as another camera. So like, I'm just like I can't, and I'm not trying to be like an amazing photographer. There's guys out there that are living on skyscrapers, and I'm down here in the
Yes.
donut shop going like, you guys are awesome, and I love that. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I think it's more about the scene and the posability thing. I think we talked about that when I was on the show. Like I still want the photo to look good. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm, my brain's more concerned about the skull turning and and all that stuff and highlighting what I'm setting up, right? But I do feel like lighting is still something that I struggle with, and I think I need to get some bounce cards. I still haven't picked up any of those. I think that might help as well too. So, and maybe change up my lighting. So, no, I totally get it. I would agree. I think that it's not only good advice to get, but I feel like it's also sometimes one of the most frustrating or challenging is that damn light. Because like when you get it in post and you're like, okay, dude, how does this look? And you're like, just I'm gonna go back over there and take some more. So.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know how
It's
many photos you take per scene, but I'm talking like for the one I use, I've probably taken at least 10 or more. So
I'm
yeah,
about
just
the same.
constantly.
I'm
Yeah.
about the same. And I think that's from talking to people. I think that's pretty much the norm. It's
Hmm.
rare. I think most people I've talked to, it's very rare to get
Hmm.
it in one take. There have been one or two, and I'm like, oh my god, that's it. Just that's it.
Right.
But it's very, very, very rare. Most of them, you got at least 10 takes on each one of them.
Yep.
Well,
Always.
like this week's collab shot. I've got probably close to 20 on that one before I got that one done. So
That makes sense. That
yeah,
yeah, that makes
it
a lot of
takes some
sense.
time.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
does. It does.
Yeah. Well, and then
Um,
when you add the stupid fog in, that's a whole nother challenge that like because you got to
is
catch it
it?
before it dis.
Oh
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's
You got
got
to
to
make
be
sure you're
just.
tapping it.
Hmm. The
Yep.
best thing I've noticed because everything's moving is
Yeah.
if you can burst shot
Hmm.
and burst shot 10 of
Take a
them or
couple. Yeah.
whatever.
Right. Take it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
you can usually find one out of that group.
That looks good with that. Yeah, well, you've been doing
Yeah.
well already with it because like the Javarthi with that was that the today's was that the one with the smoke or the fog or whatever.
Yeah, I did use that for this week's. It was the Dravarthi. He's got his back to you, and
Ye-
the shield is up on the
yeah, that
perch.
oh god, that was cool
That was
too. Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's no, you've definitely already figured that out. I feel like so it's only gonna get better. Oh, it can only go up from
I
there
hope
at
so.
that point,
I hope
right?
so.
So
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So as far as taking the shot itself, like how like I know you got involved with Figure Fight Club and things of that nature, but how how did that come about? Like where did that idea kind of was that your brainchild or was that kind of a collab brainchild?
That was that was a long process to get to. When I became the co-host of the show of the channel,
Hmm.
we did talk. I needed to get in it, it's a different it's different being on open mic versus actually hosting a show.
Right.
So it took the learning curve. But Abby and I were talking, and because he did mention pretty early on, he's like, I kind of want to see if we can get you your own show on here, and because that was kind of the plan of Figure Fight Club is number of different shows. It's a network, so to speak. So
Hmm.
yeah. So we talked about it, we discussed it, and it took months of developing and talking. Initially, because it was a lot of bouncing ideas, right? And it's all just bouncing ideas.
Sure.
Initially, the initial pitch that Abby gave me was GI Joe. He's like, "Well, you're a GI Joe guy. Why don't you do a GI Joe show?" I'm like, I didn't want to be pigeonholed into one subject, so I was kind of resistant to that. And he's like, "Well,
Makes
what about
sense.
modern military?" I was like, "Oh, we're leaning towards." So it was a process for sure, but none of it quite fit perfectly, and I wanted something that was still going to be kind of wide open. And during that whole time, I was doing more photography, learning more about it,
Hmm.
and we talked about that, and I'm trying. I think it was Abby that mentioned it. What have you thought about a photography show? And my first reaction to that was, I am not a photographer. I'm just a guy that takes pictures. And
That's how I look at it too. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and that was my first initial, because I was like, I don't want to sit here and go out on here like I'm a photographer and I'm going to tell you this and
Right.
how to do that. But and the more I said it, well, actually, no, this can be about a bunch of guys that are learning how. And again, I've got to be transparent. I'm just a guy that takes pictures and having some fun with this. But if we can get some guys who really know what they're doing, like we got D Amazing, we got Steve with Articulated Empire, Ben Dixon, B Dixon Photography, Brad Goodman, Good Man Toys. Amazing. These guys are freaking good. Now I don't know that they're not. Well, D is a professional, 100%. D is a professional. And Steve, I think, to a degree as well. Anyway, whatever. We're all learning with them together, and then it's like, oh, okay, and this is kind of working, and then us guys who are just having fun with this. Again, that's what this show is about. It's not necessarily about being a professional photographer. It's about enjoying playing with photography and learning stuff as we go. And I hope we're presenting it that way.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the goal. And I want to, and even with the community spotlight, I want to spotlight some of these big guys that are doing amazing work that we're all just, aspiring to do. And I also want to spotlight us new guys that are learning and trying and putting forth some effort to all of it. All of it. I'm not. It's not a show about judgment. We've discussed contests, and we could do a contest at some point. For me, it's the whole thing of trying to figure out all the rules for the contest. That's why we haven't
Yeah.
yet.
That'd be tough.
Yeah, because I don't want it to be turn into that. I don't want it to turn into a
Yeah.
competition.
Become
all the time.
subjective. It's hard to. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want it to be fun. I want it to be a fun place to enjoy that together. And that's yeah. So it's all just evolved.
Well, and honestly, and maybe to stroke the ego a little bit too, like it's brilliant. Like that's what I think I really like about taking the shot is that, and don't get me wrong, we want to learn from the greats. We need to. That's how we're all going to get better and challenge ourselves. I mean, honestly, the Saturday collab, like I've said before to you, is like it's challenged me. It's gotten me out of my comfort zone, and that's what I like about it. But it's also a place of like a lot of appreciation and friendship, and people wanting to see you move to the next level. But taking the shot is great because it really just exactly what you want it to feel like, which is, because I'm new to it still too, right? And I know you're new to it as well. It just feels like a great place for everybody to just kind of learn and talk about stuff. And you never want gatekeeping. That's no fun for everybody. But it works as you want it and intended to. It feels like a great place to like everybody throw in learn, some tips or some different perspectives or hey, how'd you do this? And all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's a neat idea. I never thought of that. Whatever it is. So I think that's just what makes it kind of a little bit more special is that it's. And like you said, like originally you were like, I'm not a photographer. I'm just a guy who likes to take shots. But that's kind of the brilliance again of that is that you're just being that guy also learning at the same time, and that's awesome. So I think a lot of people appreciate it. I know I do. So no, that's great that's what you decided to do for sure.
Very cool. I appreciate
Yeah.
that
Yeah, absolutely.
very much, man. That was the point of it. Just to have a place to, well, yeah, just be and learn together. So
Yeah.
good. I'm
good.
happy
Hey,
to
you're
hear that.
doing it. You're doing it. Yeah, no, it's great. I do want to, of course, one of our good friends out there, Webby. Good to see you. Appreciate you popping in here. No, I'm just glad you're able to make it, man. Even if you did it later. So no, I appreciate you always giving them shout outs and that support, buddy. It's good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good Saturday as well. What a great guy. Talk about community. That doesn't get much better than a guy like Webhead. So if you guys aren't following him on Instagram, give him some love out there. He supports and gives everybody a lot of love. Before we kind of bring it to the last row of topics, the Let's Set the Tone gauntlet of questions, I do have one thing here. I want to see if you can share some context for me. I don't know if you can maybe give me some context on this photo here.
What was that? Where did you find that?
Anything you'd like to add, or what's going on here?
I'm trying to remember where that is. That's I think that's Ishkan.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Ishkan?
Is that this year? Maybe
Who
last year?
sent you this? It's this year. I do remember it was this year. Oh god, we were at that it was a ramen place? I think that was the ramen place. And we were just getting some dinner, and I think that was Saturday night, IshCon. My head was splitting. I was just we had the late show Friday after day one of IshCon, and I was exhausted. I probably had a little too. I'm not a big drinker at all.
Okay,
I don't.
fair
I
enough.
rarely drink, and we had some this special brew from St. Bifficus that he brought for us, and I partook Friday night, and so I think there was part of that, a little bit of dehydration. That was just me dealing with a massive headache, and we were, yeah, yeah, that's what that is.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
yeah.
Fair
Where'd
enough.
you get that?
Oh, scour the interwebs and people. It's hard to dig up dirt on some people sometimes because some of y'all are so nice, and people don't have bad things to say, right? And sometimes it's also hard because I don't know who to get hold of. But I find things on the internet. I find things
Mm-hmm.
on the internet. Yeah, the exactly web that you should. That's what should scare everybody about being on here because I'll find something, whether it's one thing, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
many. Something will come up. Don't worry
There
about
you
that
go.
for sure. For sure.
There you go.
That's it. Yeah, right on. Yeah,
Or a long live stream. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
that's exactly it. 100%.
That's right. That's right. You should never. Yeah, that's right. Seven Dungeons knows too. Seven Dungeons. He was one of the first people on when I started this back a bit ago, and because I know him and I know members around him personally, I was able to dig some pretty gnarly dirt. So he's in the he's got a reaction I think at the beginning of the intro when we come in, and that's one thing I do miss about having people live here is some of those that different interaction. But
Yeah.
this has given me a way to connect to a lot of people, which I absolutely love too. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, nobody's
Mm-hmm.
safe from a little bit of dirt somehow. So I do my research. So, but so, well, yeah. So that's the big stuff here. I'm gonna kind of go through the actual let's set the tone gauntlet of questions here. I'm gonna toss at you, and then we'll like I said we'll let you back to your day. I know we run a little bit longer sometimes, but when the conversation's good, you know it as well too. You say the same thing. It's just we're gonna keep rolling. That's how I roll too. So same way. So first question here: is there a fictional character, or maybe a celebrity, or maybe an inspirational figure that you looked up to as a kid?
Yeah, there are quite a few actually. But we'll say kid. We'll say kid. Okay. Michael Jackson, as a kid.
Yeah, right on.
Um,
Heal the world and make it a better place.
yeah, yeah. Indiana Jones,
Oh, good, nice.
the adventurer, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's probably more. We'll stick with that. We'll
Okay.
stick with that. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I like that. All right, this might be a difficult one, but this is a usually difficult one for a lot of people. But I do love this one. I think again, music says a lot about people. But can you attempt to name a band that defines you?
Alice in Chains.
Okay.
Alice in Chains. One of the things I always loved about them is there's a lot of doom and gloom in lyrics, right? And Alice in Chains is no different. They have a lot of doom and gloom in theirs. But one of the things I remember reading an interview, Jerry talking about how he wrote, which was something that I kind of took with me over the years in writing lyrics for my band, because I did write some of them for my guitar player and I were basically kind of 50-50. We wrote all of our music. But one of the takeaways that Jerry was, he always talked about he wanted to be able to present an entire story. So if you see the lyrics, a lot of Alice in Chains lyrics, especially the stuff that Jerry writes, it is a complete story. It's not. It doesn't end you in the same gloom that you started in. He's always looking for that light at the end of the tunnel, the finish of the story. There's a lot of hope involved. So it's something I always relate it to. So Alice in Chains.
They are. I'm a because that was my era. I was a teenager during the grunge era, so like that was always my era of like I always call kind of emo-ish too. Like, and Alice in Chains is one of the still. I mean, it's still they withstand the sands of time. You can listen to them and still relatable. That was and like you said, storyteller. They're just something special about Alice in Chains from that era that makes them one of the fucking goats of that era. So yeah, no, that's great. That's really great. I got a buddy that's a super fan. He'd love to hear that. So, Seven Dungeons is too. Yep, actually. So a couple of you then. So yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. Keeping all that you've learned, would you rather live forever, immortality, or would you rewind time once? And you can take that and interpret it however you want.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the whole thing with the idea of rewind time, there's always that whole thing you got to keep in mind that if you did something different, it would affect everything else that comes after it, no matter what. And then it's like, oh, well, you could say, well, I wouldn't have. I'll use it as an example, and this is not. I'm divorced. We weren't good married together, right? But the long and short of it, we after the divorce, we were able to rekindle true friendship.
Sure.
Through
That's good.
co-parenting.
Yeah.
And I love her very much. But you could say, our marriage was not good, and we shouldn't have been. So if you go back in time and say, oh, maybe, did you have a regret over well, I can't have a regret over the marriage. I have a wonderful child. I have two wonderful children. That wouldn't have been, right? So that's that. And I used that just as one example of that's that little thing that you can't, you got to be careful when you start thinking about turning back time. So immortality, I just don't want to be, I don't want to be, how long do I have to be old and decrepit? If I can be immortal at how I feel physically today, we're good. But if I've got to be like 100-year-old person, immortality feeling, maybe not so much. I don't know. So yeah, I'd go with the immortality. I think I everything I think that happened in it's a difficult thing to imagine changing something and how it would have changed everything else.
Sure.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. Great answer. What is a controversial hot take that you have? And it can be anything. It literally can be whatever you want it to be. It might be a hill that you're going to die on. Maybe you're self-aware enough to know, yes, it's a ridiculous stance. I understand, but everybody else is always going to fight you against it. But I'm standing my ground. This is how I feel about it. It could be something as awesome like for me, which is I think Waterworld is a highly underrated movie and I love it to death and everybody else sucks. I don't know what to say about it, but other than that, that's my controversial for representation. What do you have a controversial hot take? Like I said, can be anything.
So my whole question now that is going through my head is, do I want to be really controversial or mild controversial?
It's your show, buddy. You tell me.
It's your show. Be careful with that. They're going to shut us down.
Free will. Right. Well, good talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'll get and I'll given the opportunity, I'm going to go ahead and get a little. Maybe some will see it as controversial within the community, right? And don't sweat. It's okay, Tone. Relax. No.
It's fine. I can take it either way.
I see sometimes in the YouTube space or even the collector space, the collector community, these things that happen sometimes, these pockets of us against them against us, and I disagree with that. I truly believe I'll see people fighting that may not even know each other. I've said it before and I'll say it every damn time. You and I might become friends here in this YouTube world, here in this collecting community, toy community. First off, I don't care what anyone collects. Enjoy what you spend your money however you want.
Absolutely.
On whatever figures and toys and whatever that you want, and love it, man. And I'm never going to hold that against a person. Oh, that guy collects McFarlane. Do you love it? Go for it. Have fun. But my thing is we have the potential of being friends, you and I, but I will never be your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That's something, and I hold that kind of dear, and I am not here to be someone's enemy. So, like, if some other channel decides they don't like me and starts talking shit about me, that's their, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not your enemy, and I'm not going
Mm-hmm.
to fight back. And the reason is because I am not here to make enemies.
Right.
We can be friends, or we can maybe not be friends, but
Mm-hmm.
I will not be your enemy. I don't play that. I'm not here to play that. I would much rather make some friends with people, with the understanding of difference of opinions. And I think difference of opinions are good,
Mm-hmm.
and we all can learn from that. I am not a, this is my opinion, and if you don't believe it and agree with it 100%, we are finished. I
Mm-hmm.
am not that person. We might have difference of opinions. You might not change my opinion, but it doesn't mean I dislike you because we
Sure.
have a difference.
Sure.
Um, I kind of see beyond that. I don't feel that we're pigeonholed that much into that tight a little space that we can't see other levels of things that we do agree on,
Mm-hmm.
or that's how I feel about it. That's how I
Yeah.
feel about this community, and that's how I approach
Mm-hmm.
the YouTube space and the toy community as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if that's a hot take, but that's my take on it. I am
Sure.
not,
No,
yeah.
that's
So,
fair. That's fair. And I think that there's, it's also important with sometimes the people you're around and the communities you're involved in as well too. I think that does. That's yeah. Okay, Brian. And again, that's why something like the Savage Crucible community, right? What's so great is because there might be some different feelings or opinions sometimes on things, but everybody's there to have a good time, and you know, at the very least, especially with that community, like is trying to uplift you and trying to show you different things as well. So,
hmm
yeah, it's sometimes the best way to make sure that you're not involved in that stuff, or if you happen to somehow do, if somebody wants to fire off as you, is ignore it. And because otherwise you could be adding fuel to the fire, and if you just ignore it, guess what happens? It just makes people end up going away. You
hmm
know, so um, but
but Waterworld
yeah,
is
you yeah
100%. Yep.
you watch it Prime. You watch Prime. Dan Trachtenberg can say what I say, then I feel good about it. He's revived the Predator series, so if he can agree with me, then I feel good about that controversial hot take. I love that movie, and I will die on that hill. So,
hmm
but no, good response. Very fair, very fair. Last big one here for you. So, last day on Earth. Let's say tomorrow the asteroid's going to impact Earth because Bruce Willis and our buddy what's his face? God, my brain just stopped here. Ben Affleck. They couldn't save us. Sorry. So it's going to impact Armageddon happens tomorrow. But you get to have your last meal on Earth. You get to choose 5 meal items and 2 beverages. Let's hear what those are.
All right. 5 meal items.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
And it doesn't have to be sides. Like you don't have to have a main course. Like however you want to do it. It can be all 5 main courses. However you want to do it. It's yours.
I'm gonna have to get lunch right after this now.
Yeah, I know. Same.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, hmm. 5. Okay. So, and it's the last day on Earth, so I don't have to worry about what I'm eating there. And no, I'm going to do the 5 in no particular order. Okay, these
That's
are in no
fair.
particular order. 'Cause I
Perfectly
don't know
fine.
how all these would fit together, but these would be the 5 favorites, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go with a baked ziti. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
yeah, Italian sausage,
Mm-hmm.
the whole nine. My
Mm-hmm.
my homemade sauce. Oh, and by the way, I'm making this. By the way, so this is
Oh,
my baked ziti.
you make the bake. Oh, dude, and then, like it.
Oh,
I feel like there's a lot of people that have never had baked ziti that don't know true Italian pasta dishes unless you've had baked ziti. Okay,
yeah,
that's my
yeah.
feelings on that. So yeah.
Mm. I make it for my family every year for Christmas. Everybody comes to my house. Get everybody together, and I make it every year.
Oh
Big
God,
batch.
that
Oh, yeah.
sounds beautiful.
I've crafted it. And again, I'm half Italian too.
Yeah.
So there's that Italian blood in
Mm-hmm.
me. Anyway, we'll move forward. The baked ziti is the first one. All right. So second one, God, I don't know. probably some Mexican, something Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with most Mexican food is and I don't want to offend anyone, but it's because okay, so true Mexican. I had true Mexican, like true Mexican, for the first time when I was in Houston this year for business, for work, for my job, for work, and they brought me to this a more true, real Mexican. Very different than you often will find. Some of it I liked, some of it it's okay. So I guess I think I probably don't. I probably love the more non-real, the less genuine. So maybe a good chimichanga. A good chimichanga.
You just can't. That's one of my go-tos. So yeah, I feel that. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A really good bison burger, smothered in cheese.
Bison, like actual bison meat.
Oh yeah, ground
Okay.
bison.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on. Okay.
Yep.
I respect that.
Yep. I discovered that a number of number of years ago. My son was pretty little, and we went to Ted's Montana is what we went to, which is a chain, and it's they have bison.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that was the first time I had a bison burger, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, this is really good.
Exotic game is so delicious. I'm a big fan too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's 3. So we'll throw some sides in with it. Some really good mac and cheese, homemade mac and cheese. You got to have that mac and cheese. I'm an addict for the mac and cheese.
Especially if it's homemade.
Yep. And then, do we need to go with a dessert? Sure, we'll throw a dessert in there. Strawberry cheesecake. We'll throw in the strawberry cheesecake for dessert. I'm not a huge dessert guy. I do like a good cheesecake. We'll go with the strawberry. Ooh, wait, no. Blueberry pie. Blueberry pie.
Okay.
We'll replace the strawberry with a blueberry pie.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Both are delicious. So those are either one's a great choice in my opinion. Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a solid 5 for those. That's a very respectable. Very respectable. We got some. Yeah. Yeah. He wants you to ship some of that baked ziti. Look at that out there. Yeah, Prime. I know. I'm thinking the same thing too.
We'll work on it.
Ooh, and a bison steak. Ooh.
Bison steak. I haven't tried a bison steak.
Yeah,
I've only had the
definitely.
burger and meatloaf. Bison meatloaf as well was excellent.
Oh, I bet that's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's got a
okay.
great flavor. All right. And you said 2 drinks. 2 drinks.
2 drinks. Yep. 2
drinks.
drinks. I give everybody a little grace on that one.
All right. That I had to stall on that one because I drink mostly water. Most of the time I drink water, so I'm very
Get it.
uninteresting with that. And diet sodas. I do the diet sodas. Believe it or not, everything I've read, again, everything's in moderation. If you're not guzzling down 15 a day,
Correct.
you'll be fine with the diet sodas. And calorie wise, if you're drinking the soda with all the sugar in it, you're drinking 300 calories each one. So, and I'm not recommending any of that. You go see your doctor about that. I'm not,
right. This is not doctor.
It's-
Right.
It's worked for me thus far. That's what I'm saying. But this is special. So, let's see, a chocolate milkshake.
Okay. Hell yeah.
We'll do a chocolate milkshake 'cause I love my milkshakes. You don't get those very often. So we'll do a chocolate milkshake, and then we'll do. I'm not that much of an alcohol guy, so like, I'm not one of these. It's like, oh, this is my favorite alcohol. I do a good. But we'll do a little alcohol since it's the last day on Earth, right?
Fitting.
Yeah. So we'll do a rum and Coke. We'll do a rum and Coke. I'm simple. A Jack and Coke. We'll move it to a Jack and Coke. We'll move it to a Jack and Coke. I prefer that.
There you go.
So there you go. Last it.
There you go. What a roundabout there. That's great. No, that's a lot of good stuff there. So, I do. Thank you, Zilla. I appreciate that. Yes, I do have a milkshake, and it brings all the boys of the yard, is the rumor. So, that's yeah. Jay's a big fan of the meats. Well, awesome. That was some great answers there for that last round. That's one of my favorites for sure. That's why I saved them the last. But we've kind of come to the end. So first of all, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate this conversation. I feel like over the time over Instagram and being a Savage together, we've definitely bonded. Like I said, I definitely consider you a friend. I appreciate you having me on, taking the shot recently as well too. And like I said, a lot of what you do, there's a lot of things that I appreciate because I feel like there's some similarities in how we take our photos, kind of in both early stages and still kind of in that learning sense. So there's kind of like that camaraderie in that sense for me too, because it feels like, hey, like I'm still new to this. Somebody else I know that I'm getting close to is new to this too. So I just appreciate that. And honestly, I mean, everybody already can kind of know and say you're one hell of a guy. You're a super friendly, nice guy. You keep a lot of the white noise out, which is awesome. Being now that I'm more now new to the figure fight club and that community too, awesome community. No toxic bullshit either. It's just everybody's fun and passionate. Everybody's got fun jokes. Like if you're in the members only, the jokes are hilarious. I was laughing my ass off last night. So I think overall, just getting to know you, being in the Savage collab as well, and now trying to be more part of the Figure Fight Club community. Just really appreciate everything that you're doing and those that you're involved with. So again, thank you so much for being on. It's a lot of fun, a lot of great stuff here. So kudos to you on that for sure. And then yeah, it's awesome.
I appreciate you, Ton, and thank you so much for having me on. This is
Yeah.
a lot of fun, and thank you for coming on, taking the shot as well.
Honored.
Yeah, me too. Me too,
Honored,
my friend.
honored.
Me too. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like, hey, I told Raven, I can't wait to meet you at Titans and a lot of people, but there's a few of you that I'm really hyped to actually finally get to. I'm a high fiver, I'm a fist bumper, whatever everybody prefers. I love hanging with the bros and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to Titans to finally be able to meet people, face to face. It's going to be a absolute blast, and then we can just shill for Savage Crucible right in front of them as well too. So I can't wait. But either way, again, I appreciate you being here. So take a moment here if you want to promo all your stuff, all your content, everything. This is that spotlight moment for that. So go ahead and do that.
I appreciate you, brother. That's yeah. So, and like you were saying with Titans, I'm the same way. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so much fun. We got quite a few people from the Savage Crucible Saturdays collab that are gonna be there. And Stella was talking about it Thursday. We've got to figure out. We've got to coordinate. And we will. We'll talk about it in the group chat. To get at least get everybody together for a big picture, because that's gonna be there's quite a few that I have not met yet that will be there. Well, I haven't met a lot of you guys in person. It's gonna be
Soon.
Jay Hove is going to be there.
Yep, Jay. I'm riding down with Jay. So
Right on. That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And and yes, absolutely, Webhead. And
thanks, guys.
so yeah,
Appreciate it.
Titans is gonna be so much fun. So if you see me down there, I will be there. Come say hi. Tell me who you are. If I don't know you by your government name, we'll find by screen names, right?
right. We might as well.
Well, that's why I love it. And it's so funny how these things happen on when going to any kind of these cons and whatnot, but at the same time getting to know people and then seeing them again, and running into that. I had somebody come up to me at Joe Fest, and I had no idea who it was, and they're like, "You're Lou." I'm like, "Huh? Yeah. Do I know?"
Yeah, I am.
I watch you every week. I'm like, "Oh shit, thank you."
Yeah.
I just it's a wonderful feeling, but it's and so it turned out that like Candyman 5000 came up to me. I had never seen him before, and he's like, "I'm Candyman 5." I'm like, "Freaking Candyman!" Hell yeah! I love that.
That's
I love
awesome.
that stuff. And we sat and talked for a while, and that I love that. I love that. I enjoy all of that. But I'll go on forever. So let me cut that down. So
Yeah, we're cut from the same cloth, man, and it's great. I can tell. We love to talk and conversate, and that's awesome. I'm a big fan, so
Yeah,
I'll go for 6 hours if we have to. But I know you've got a busy day too.
Oh yeah, well we're doing double duty tonight, so yeah, for sure. But no, anybody that's interested, Instagram Lucidebass3, dabble in toy photography. I have my fun doing that, learning how to do that, and enjoy the hell out of that. Figure Fight Club, we're on 5 nights a week. We do a show now. They give you the whole rundown. Go subscribe, subscribe, share. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time. So
Absolutely.
yeah, Monday nights is Talib's show is Decepticast. It's primarily Transformers talk. Tuesday nights is open mic, which is literally we put the link in the chat and you can come on in if you want to be on screen with us. All we ask is, hey, look, we're not talking politics, we're not debating religion or politics, and we're keeping it, more toy focused and have some fun. Don't attack anybody, don't be a dick to anybody. It's really that simple.
That's simple.
Yeah, and so then Thursday nights is my show, Taking the Shot, primarily focused on toy photography. That's the main goal, the main focus.
You
but
did it
there's a
again.
lot
You just said it again. Perfect. Taking the shot, focused. Like, I don't think you realize you're really good at that. You don't even realize you're doing that. I just hear that. I'm like, Dan, is he playing on that? No. Yeah, no. Okay.
No,
Sorry.
No, I don't have a script. Sometimes I'm baffled.
Yeah,
Things fall out of the mouth. And
right.
Well,
I banter sometimes, so there you go.
Right.
So
that's right. And and this week we've got I've got Smudge Customs and I've got Khalil with Caster's Corner.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have a blast. And we're gonna be talking about a lot of Dio stuff, a lot of customization.
Smudge is doing some.
Yeah, I told him, dude. He sends out, he's like just jumping into trying to put out photography, and he sends that one shot with Brynjar, and it's like, dude,
I know. I was like, what? This is like new to you?
Oh, I'm new to this. You are, man.
Yeah,
but
right,
he is,
right.
But he is.
Right.
He's got the. It's there's something to be said. There's an eye for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm happy to see that. I love it. Smudge is such a fun guy. He's such a nice kid, nice guy. I say kid. He's younger than me, so I can say kid.
Yeah,
but
right.
no. So, but yeah. Then Friday night's Plastic Journey. It's a new guest each week, which is similar kind of thing to this right here, what you're doing, Tone. And it's just kind of discussing our journeys in this collecting world. And next week on Plastic Journey, oh hey, Smudge is going to be back on Plastic Journey too with us next week. So
Perfect.
yeah, and 11 p.m. Saturdays on Talem 1980_collects channel, we do Men on Film, which is just a kind of a casual discussion of ranking films for whatever subject we have each week. And it's not to be taken super seriously. We're not film experts. We're just having some fun. But it's always interesting to have takes and discussions through the chat. So 11 p.m. there. This tonight is best death or kill scene in a movie. We got a whole bunch of them, and we're gonna kind of go over it and see what we can.
That's pretty exciting.
Come up with and vote. Yeah. So it'll be fun. So anyway, yeah, that's it. That's
awesome.
That's enough.
Well, I mean, somebody got to do it, and let's be honest. Like, that's what I love about Figure Fight Club's channel is like, there's something for everybody throughout the week. So there's a lot of content, and there's a lot of great people, like I said again. So you're gonna find all of those links here already in the description. If you're not following, please go over, give them some love, get involved with their community as well too. It's a lot of good stuff too, and it's a lot to be able to connect with a lot of great people. So a lot of fun. So yeah.
One last thing. Before,
Absolutely.
Because it just hit me, and I don't want to do this to my crew at Figure Fight Club. And so again, I've talked about Talib, I've talked about Abby. I failed to mention Jenna. Jenna Say What, who is another co-host of ours. Jenna's a wonderful girl.
She's an anchor.
I adore her. Yep, and I don't want to do that. So I want to shout out Jenna. I want to shout out Goose, Initial Goose Creations, and I want to shout out Shogun, also co-hosts, part of our channel. I don't want to slight them, and I almost did.
No.
I apologize, fellas. And Jenna, love you guys. So
yeah, it's a great cast of people that are involved. A lot of fun. Everybody brings something different to the table, and that's what makes such a fun dynamic.
Yes.
Real enjoyable. So like I said, if you guys haven't caught them, you really need to take some time to catch them too. So I know through Jay, been able to kind of get involved a little bit more. So I'm a big fan. But well, awesome. Well, I'm going to take a breath here or some air in before I go through all my stuff, and we'll let everybody back to their day. So, of course, I appreciate the chat for being here. It's been a lot of fun, obviously. I love doing these, having these conversations. It's hard to always recognize the chat because I don't want to derail the conversation that, and the answers that Lou's trying to provide for us. But if it's your first time here, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love that. I'm still trying to grow this channel as well. Unfortunately, Brent is taking a hiatus a little bit because his kids play all the sports balls these days. They're on traveling sports teams. So hopefully he'll get back to making some content soon. But, we do have a little bit of variety here as well. So he comes from the video game side of it too. And, if you're seeing this now or you haven't yet, please give it a like. If you're replaying it, maybe share, comment. We'd love to hear those comments. I'd love to read those. That's a lot of fun, too. So as far as the Basement Nexus Collective crew, 7 Dungeons is sporadically trying to get those D&D streams every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube and Twitch. But there's a lot going on personally behind the scenes with some of the families. So, they're trying to get to it. We had the pretty big conclusion of the Shadowfell arc that I was thankfully a hand in help writing that whole arc. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great things in that. I think the players probably hate me after that, but it was a lot of fun to be able to collab with Drastin on that one. A lot of because of my Lovecraft love, it was a lot of mental and a lot of smoke and mirrors stuff. So it was a lot of fun to do, but I don't think the players enjoyed that hardly at all. So, which makes me feel good about myself. So, Half-Ass Beer Review is working on the video from the Great Lakes Beer Festival 2 weeks ago to this day. Hopefully be out this weekend or early next week. We had a lot of fun. He said the editing's going well, and it looks like it's going to be a fun one, so I can't wait to see that, and hopefully we'll be back to making content soon. Wednesday nights, you can catch me on Mercs Live over on Toy Mercs YouTube channel, of course, with Deadman, Ronan, Rad when he shows up, and me when I show up. We have a lot of fun ellipsing the community, that toy figure and photography community. We have a blast doing that on Wednesdays, kind of bringing that hump day goodness in the middle of the week. And then, of course, Thursday nights, catch me with the Rats Pack. We like to sit around 8 p.m. Eastern on Fridays and just bring you into the weekend with a lot of fun. We talk a little variety of stuff. World making still is always going to be part of the DNA. Last night we talked about Legos and some of the people out there doing Lego photography and Lego builds. Some wild shit out there. And Brixie, actually, we were showing off his channel. He showed up in the chat last night, so that was really cool to see that. But yeah, it was awesome, really random. But we had a great variety of stuff out there as always. Showing we showed the Wizard trailer, the original trailer for the Wizard, one of my all-time favorite movies as a kid. So that was a lot of fun too. So, but I think that pretty much is, except for one thing. Keep your eyes open this Tuesday. We're going to try and get her off the ground. But there is a new content that I've been working on with somebody special for the last few months. And I think we're going to be able to finally go live Tuesday for our first episode 1, episode 0, whatever you want to call it. So more details hopefully really soon. We're kind of running up against the clock, but we just want to get something out there. We've been intending to, so we want to kind of get the ball rolling. So, be on the lookout on the socials for that. Fanboy Tone, of course, on Instagram. So with that, taking some air now that I can breathe. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for spending some time here on a Saturday. Once again, thank you, Lou, for being here. Lucifer, Lucidebass3, the one and only man, the myth, legend. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you. And I know you got a long day, so I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday as well, too, doing content. And everybody out there as well, have a fantastic day, and we'll hopefully see you real soon. So take care, everybody.